meeting can please come to order. Today is it is now 6 o'clock on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. This is the day and time scheduled for the regular session of the Westland Planning Commission meeting for March. Thank you very much. If the assembled members and any of our guests in the audience would please join me and rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Administration, roll call, please.
Durante.
Present.
Folks.
Present.
Hobbs.
Present.
Hopkins.
Present.
Richards.
Present.
Rounds.
Present.
Stachow.
Present.
Swokas.
Present.
Rappaport.
Present.
Everyone is present.
Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes for the February 4th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Swokas, support by Richards. Roll call, please.
Roll call to approve the February 4th, 2025 meeting minutes. Durante.
Yes.
Folks.
Yes.
Hobbs.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Rounds.
Yes.
Swokas.
Yes.
Did I skip Stachow?
Yes.
And Rappaport.
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
Thank you very much. At this time, this is the opportunity for our citizens to provide us commentary. Please, if you do not have an agenda, agendas are available at the podium. This is not an opportunity to discuss any of the items that we have on our agenda for discussion today. This is for items not on our agenda that you would like to bring to our attention that we are not already aware of. I'll start over on my right. Would anybody like to rise to the podium and speak to anything not currently on the agenda on my right? Anybody on my left? Anybody on my left would like to rise to the podium and speak to an item not on the agenda? Seeing none. Quick note before we move on. Obviously, this is a very full room, much more full than we are used to. Please use whatever time you are given to speak wisely and respectfully. Please do not interrupt anybody else. Please do not disrespect other people. I will remind you of these polite requests if I find that anybody is being treated unfairly. Is that okay? It is our intention to have everybody have their voices heard today. That being said, before we continue on to our items, our business items for the day, I'm going to exercise the chairperson's privilege to request an additional item to the orders of the day, which would go on as item 7. This item is a request for a motion, which the chair will make very clear once that item comes up. I'm looking for this change to the orders of the day can be approved by
What is the agenda item?
by ayes and nays. Those approving, please indicate so aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Very good. Without opposition, the motion passes, and item 7, privilege of the chair, is added. On to item number 1, which is case number 1683A, proposed rezoning from R5 single-family residential district to townhouse district. Petitioner Ragda Awad. Administration, can you please tell us a little bit about this proposal?
Thank you, Chairman. The two subject parcels here, they're outlined on your screen in yellow. They make up approximately 18,000 square feet. It contains a single-family dwelling on the western left-hand side parcel. The petitioner tonight is requesting to rezone these two parcels and will later combine them. That's an administrative process. Rezone them tonight to THR from their current designation, which is R5 single-family residential. This proposal is being made to facilitate the development of townhouses, approximately 7 at this time, but a site plan will later follow for approval if this rezoning request is approved. Properties to the north are zoned single-family residential and developed by single-family dwellings. Properties to the east, across the street from Newburgh, are zoned CB3 general commercial business and developed by Neil's Party Store. Property to the south is undeveloped, also zoned single family, and properties to the west adjacent are single family as well. And there's one developed by a single family dwelling and one that is undeveloped south of that. One of these two parcels, as mentioned, is currently developed by a single-family dwelling. The undeveloped property is currently a buildable lot in the single-family residential district that it's zoned, and therefore can be developed by a single-family dwelling. There have been no recent changes in zoning in the immediate area, and there has been no new developments in the area. The 2018 future land use designation for this property, well, both of these properties is single-family residential. I will walk through, this is the site plan, the proposed site plan. Initially, the petitioner submitted a site plan for one long rectangular building that included 8 total units. We asked the petitioner to break this single building up into 2 buildings to just try and fit the character of the single-family neighborhood that they are encroaching in. They did comply with that, and as a result, lost one of the 8 units, total 7 that's on your screen. This is a rendering of what the townhouse is proposed to look like, utilizing brick and siding material on the top. And this is what the existing single-family dwelling looks like with the undeveloped property there on your left-hand side. The administration is recommending approval of this petition. The petitioner is in the audience today, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Administration. Petitioner, if you could please rise to the podium and be recognized.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ahmed Delbas, and I'm the architectural designer and project manager responsible for this job.
Thank you very much for appearing today. Do you have anything to add to the presentation by the administration?
No.
Okay, this is a special land use and a public hearing. So I'm going to ask you to find a seat nearby the lectern. We're going to ask for citizens' comments, and then we're going to bring you back up, and I'm sure that the board will have some questions for you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing, so I am going to ask anybody interested in commenting on this proposal to rise to the podium and speak. Beginning on my right, does anybody on my right wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, would anybody on my left wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, sir, can I please have you return to the podium, and we'll turn it over to the board. Anybody on my right wish to address the petitioner? Recognizing Deanna Stashow.
Yeah, I'd like to say that we always look forward to additional housing in our city, and the townhouse appears to be a a really complementary addition to that area. So thank you for considering it for Westland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deanna. Anybody on my left wish to speak? Recognizing David Swokas.
Yes, I'm just curious, the townhouses, I think they look great, and I agree with Commissioner Stachow that it's a great addition. Will they be for purchase, will it be a cooperative, or will it be for rental?
I will be rent individually.
Thank you.
Anyone additionally on my right? Anyone additionally on my left? Seeing none, a motion is in order. Recognizing David Swokas for that motion.
I move that we close the public hearing, waive the normal rules, and send case number 1683A, proposed rezoning from R5 Single Family Residential District to THR Townhouse, Beechwood, north of Ford, southeast corner of Beechwood in Newburgh, subject to departmental requirements and recommendations onto City Council.
Support.
Motion by Swokas, supported by Hopkins. Roll call, please.
This is a roll call vote to recommend approval of case number 1683A. Durante.
Yes.
Folks.
Yes.
Hobbs.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Rounds.
Yes.
Stachow.
Yes.
Swokas.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Your motion is approved. Please contact the administration for next steps, as this is approved recommendation for approval by the City Council.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the second item on our agenda, which is case number 2273, proposed land division at 35857 Joy Road. Petitioner is Richard Larrabee. Administration, can you please tell us a little bit about the issue? Mr. Larrabee, if you are more comfortable at the podium, you can take the podium if you'd like.
Okay. Subject parcel here is zoned PUD, planned unit development, for purposes of development. However, we regulate it with the single-family residential zoning district. This parcel currently contains 1.5 acres. The property is developed by a single-family dwelling. They're just left of the red line, going north and south. The petitioners are requesting to split the property into two buildable single-family residential parcels. That split line being that red L there. Properties to the north are located in the city of Livonia, developed by single-family dwellings. Property to the east is zoned single-family residential and developed by a single-family dwelling. Property to the south, also single-family residential and developed by a single-family dwelling. And properties to the west are zoned PUD, and that's a single-family subdivision that has been recently built. The 2018 Master Plan Future Land Use Designation indicates single-family residential for this site. Parcel A that is proposed is on your right-hand side with 61 feet of frontage along Joy Road, and parcel B, I think I got those mixed up, but let me see here. Hold on one second. Well, they're right here. Yeah, parcel A is on your right-hand side, 61 feet, 1.9 acres, and then on your left-hand side to the west is parcel B, 0.6 acres with 103.6 feet of frontage on Joy Road. Both compliant with the single-family residential zoning district. There's no nonconformities being created with this proposal. There's that 5-foot setback that we require for single-family dwellings for the side yard setback, which is being complied with as well. Petitioners here, happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, administration. Petitioner, is there anything that you'd like to add to the presentation by the administration?
Me? No, I'm good. Sounds good. You hit it.
Very good, sir. If I can have you take a temporary chair nearby, we'll call you right back up when I turn it over to the commission. However, even though that this is not a special land use, we still like to hear from our citizens if they are so inclined. So I will ask, is there anybody on my right that wishes to speak on this matter? Hearing none. Is there anybody on my left that wishes to speak on this matter? Hearing none. Sir, if I can have you return to the podium. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Larrabee. At this time, is there anybody on my right that wishes to address the petitioner? Seeing none. Is there anybody on my left that wishes to address the petitioner? Recognizing David Swokas.
Good evening. I actually live in the area there. I'm 2 houses west of Nerisse, and I also am part of the St. Constantine and Helen Church. My question for you is, I think it's a great opportunity there. Would you be dedicating the access road for the spot that you will build to the back of the property? Will you be like dedicating a road to the city, or will it become a private road, or?
Just a drive. Just a single building back there, just a drive.
Okay,
Private
so
drive.
will you have it paved, or will it be dirt, or?
Haven't got that far yet. It's a
But
pretty-
in your mind, just curious, because I will tell you, I had a lot of people in the area in that subdivision, and especially when we just had the Greek festival at the church, people were asking about that, because as you know, right now, we already have quite a heavy, traffic on Joy Road, and it took us about 25 years just to get Joy Road repaved, and we're thinking about all of the construction and all that stuff. And I know that, I'm sure you noticed we have a lot of trucks going down the road, and I take it, do you live in the White House that's at the front of the property?
I do, and my son, yeah.
So then you probably have noticed the traffic like it has been for
There's
the
enough
last 2
traffic there,
days.
yeah. I'm aware of the traffic.
Okay.
Obviously, I would minimally put an asphalt apron coming off Joy. At that point, it may be gravel for the short term, till we can afford to get it paved, of course, because it's a long run.
Commission,
But
I'm sorry, it does have to be paved.
it has to be paved?
Yes, we will talk about that when you submit your site plan, but it does have to be paved, yes.
Why does it have to be paved?
That is the city's requirement. We could talk about that at a later
Okay,
time.
that's all news to me, but okay.
But yeah, I think it's a
Then
great.
there's your answer, I guess it's getting paved.
Well, I congratulate you on taking that step, because it is probably one of the more desirable neighborhoods in Westland. I've lived there my entire life. It's always been the top-notch zoning, and a lot of people like to locate there, but especially what you've done with the house there. I assume you moved there recently, or?
Yeah, I can tell you this, I've probably flipped a dozen houses in the area over the last 5 years. They all are 10 times better than when I've got my hands on them to begin with. That White House will look much better over the next year or two. When this new house gets built also, that whole area will look much better.
Well, it looks great already, and you've definitely been a positive neighbor, and looks good, and I'll definitely support this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Swokas. Anybody additionally on my right wish to speak on this matter? Anybody additionally on my left wish to speak? Before I call for a vote on this matter, I just had one question for the administration. I do note that the land division does result in one parcel being very unusually shaped. I am assuming that that is because that is done to avoid one of these parcels becoming landlocked. Is that correct?
Not necessarily. I think the property owner or petitioner could have had parcel B be as deep as parcel A, but I think that they wanted to create a larger parcel there for the attractiveness of the new build. Is my assumption correct?
I don't follow, I mean, you have to have access to the back 2 acres. It's got to come from Joy Road. If there's another option, I'm all ears.
Parcel A is unusual, and there's no issues with it being landlocked. I'm not sure why they chose to divide it the way that they did. But there are no issues being created
Well,
here.
I will inform the petitioner that there is a requirement for making these adjustments, that there be access to a major thoroughfare, as I'm sure you're aware. If there is another option, please do explore that. You obviously have a number of things to talk about with the administration before this proposal moves much further than where it's currently at. And in the event that you do need a reconsideration, we will definitely hear you. That having been said, the motion is in order. Recognizing Ruby Richards.
I move to send case number 2273, proposed land division at 35857 Joy Road, south side of Joy and west of Newburgh, to City Council with a recommendation for approval contingent upon departmental requirements and recommendations.
Second.
That's a motion by Richards, second by Hopkins. Roll call, please.
This is a roll call vote to recommend approval of case number 2273. Durante,
Yes.
Folks,
Yes.
Hobbs,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Rounds.
Yes.
Stachow,
Yes.
Swokus.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, sir, your motion, or your proposal has been approved as it's presented. Please get with the administration for next steps. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to case number 2055B, proposed special land use approval for a serpentarium at 958 North Newburgh. Petitioner is Michael Wilson. Administration, if you dare.
Okay, thank you. The subject property is Zone CB3, General Commercial Business. It contains approximately 14,000 square foot retail plaza. The petitioner is requesting special land use approval to operate a serpentarium in one of the approximately 1,000 square foot vacant spaces. A serpentarium is a reptile exhibition space showcasing a variety of species. The reptiles will be enclosed spaces. We designated this as an amusement use, which is why the petitioner is appearing before you for special land use approval. Amusement uses are special land uses in the CB3 zoning designation. This was an unusual use for me, so I had to reach out to various city departments, including the fire department, police department, and attorney's office, who had no objections after reviewing various rules, regulations, and laws. We also reached out to a few other cities and the state and did some research with the USDA and found that there are no further regulations or requirements needed by the city for this to be approved by the city. Some analysis on the site itself, there are no modifications being proposed. As mentioned earlier, it's an existing plaza with existing site access. The site itself, including parking, landscaped areas, screening, lighting, stormwater management are all existing and in accordance with the previously approved site plan. The city doesn't believe that this use in a 1,000 square foot vacant space is going to generate significant amount of traffic that will disrupt operations on Newburgh or Marquette. The 2018 master plan future land use designation for this site is neighborhood commercial and office services. We believe that the use is consistent with the neighborhood commercial designation, but will probably be a larger draw to a degree than just the adjacent residential areas. We are recommending approval of this petition. Happy to answer any questions. We have the business owner here as well. Not a whole lot because this is going into an existing space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, administration. If I can please have the petitioner rise to the podium and be recognized. Who could have possibly guessed?
How are you
Hi there,
today?
sir.
My name is Michael Wilson.
Thank you. Did you have anything to add to the presentation?
No, Mo did an excellent job.
He did do an excellent job. I'm very proud of him. This is a special land use and therefore a public hearing, so I am going to ask that you return to your seat.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to see what our citizens have to say. So if anybody on my right wishes to rise to the podium and speak on this matter, please be recognized. Surprisingly seeing none. Anybody on my left wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none. Sir, if I can please have you return to the podium, we're going to open it up to the board. Anybody on my right wish to speak on this matter? I'm going to start with Ruby Richards, who I will note is creeped out by creepy crawlies.
I understand. They're not for everyone.
What other type of reptiles will you house there?
Mostly snakes. We got monitors, lizards, and there will be an alligator. We have a couple alligators in there, but nothing that can't be. We have somebody in Florida, and anytime they get too big or can't be handled by us, we pass them on to a guy who owns Gatorland down in Florida.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's all I want to know.
I don't know if you've heard of the Reptarium. It's a very similar business plan.
What spot are you going to be? Because I know it's 7 spots there. What spot will you be taking?
9-5, I've only seen the property a couple of times. We didn't sign any leases because we didn't know how this was going to go. It's right in the inside of the corner, so it's shaped like an L, and it's just on the inside corner between a dance studio and an insurance place there.
Oh, like the pet groom. I know the pet groom is in between there. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much. To my left, recognizing
Forget my name.
recognizing Commissioner Fox.
Hi, sir. Can you assure us that those reptiles won't get out?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. Every single
wanna make
enclosure we
sure.
have was designed for the specific purpose of keeping that type of animal. There's a lock and key on every single enclosure, and it is properly labeled. I'm 100% sure nothing will get out. We will have video camera footage in the entire place, so if anything does get out, we could find it, but it's never happened. Hey,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Fox. Returning to my right, and I see a number of hands up. So we'll go down the line, and we will go to recognize Commissioner Hopkins.
I think this is an amazing idea.
hey, thank you.
I would, yes. Do you have any plans on taking this on the road and maybe, coming around to the youth of Westland through the school district possibly? And
We would love the opportunity.
yeah, okay.
But this is mostly educational, so the more we can get opportunities, we already do, one of our animals is the logo for the Novi Pet Expo.
I just think it's in a really great spot, considering the other businesses that are around, the pet store being there, and also the animal shelter being behind you. Another question I wanted to ask is, if something comes about from the animal shelter that's a weird pet, a reptile or a snake, would you guys consider taking them
Without a doubt.
so that they don't get euthanized?
It would be a great opportunity for us. Like I said, we have connections
I think
down in
it's just in
Florida,
a great
and,
space.
They could take that stuff if we can't handle it.
Very cool. You got my vote. I love it.
Thank you very much. To my left, recognizing David Swokas.
I like the idea. I'm not a fan of snakes, mind you, but alligators I can understand because I actually know somebody who has one in Florida and actually works for Florida Wildlife. My question is, so what is what is the admission you're going to charge for somebody to come in and look or see? And
We've discussed between $15 and $20. We haven't quite decided.
would you do like a discount for like families that in the school district that serves the city of Westland? Meaning, I think there's 2 school districts or 3 that serves Westland. I believe it's Livonia, Wayne Westland, and then Canton.
We could definitely
Canton.
figure something like that out, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with Commissioner Hopkins. I think it's good, and a good opportunity for the schools and that, but even, for even a safer thing, maybe the schools can make it a field trip for a day or something like that, but, we do have several school board members residing in the city on both boards, Livonia and Westland, so I'm definitely in support of it. Have you, like with your cameras, will you do something like a a live cam to be able to show like something's going on with the animals, because you know how kids, they like to look on YouTube, because I've got, cousins and, nephews and all that stuff that love to watch this stuff, and I just think it might be a good idea to think about it.
That's a great idea. We have live cams that we use right now at the facility we're at now, and I can pull them up on my phone and look live at what's going on in there. We do it regularly, a few times a day, and if we could maybe make that public, that'd be a great idea. They're less for security and more just to check on our animals.
But yeah, thank you for choosing Westland, and I'll definitely be in
Thanks
support
for
of
having
it.
us.
Thank you very much. Returning to my right and down the line, Deanna Stashow.
Okay, hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sounds like a fantastic idea. Very unique, to say the least, but I think that'll be your draw as well. My question is, however, is that because of these reptiles do eat live food, they're not going to? Because normally you would have like mice on hand or other types of food that the creepy crawlies would like,
Once a month, we
But
order 1 month's supply
how
of
is it that
frozen-
you're going to be feeding these
We
animals?
order frozen rats and guinea pigs and other things like that once a month, and they keep it in the freezer, and we exhaust it throughout the month, and then we reorder. It comes in a box, big box, it's all frozen solid when it gets to us.
Okay.
We thaw it out, bring it up to a warm temperature.
Well, that's good, because,
We don't like
I would
mammals.
want to think something getting, it's enough of a problem if you have
That's what I mean. We
mice
don't need any mice or
around and about.
rats or
but,
anything
yeah.
running around in there.
Although you might want to collect a few, huh? But nevertheless, well, that's good. And I think it's a very good location for you as well. And wish you success.
Oh, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. Returning to my left, would our secretary like to speak on the matter?
I think it's a great idea. I've been to the one in Utica.
Yeah,
And there was a lot of families there. Kids seemed to enjoy it, and it was really educational, so.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hobbs. Returning to the left, Daryl Rounds, would you like to take a go?
Mr. Wilson, just one question.
Sure.
How many unique species do you plan on having, you
We
think?
have between 30 and 40 snakes right now. We actually had one that just had a few babies, but unique species, probably 13 to 14. We have a list in the office of exactly how many we have and how many of each species we have. Offhand, I couldn't tell you individually.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that just gives me an idea.
No.
It'll save me a trip to Toledo or Royal Oak, so.
Oh, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, but,
You can get up close
I
and
just-
personal and touch, and maybe sometimes your first time to touch an alligator, some people have never done it before.
Yeah, so I just wanted to echo, the voice of many of my colleagues here. Number one, I'm not really a fan of snakes, but I think this is a very, very cool idea. And the uniqueness of this will be a good draw for the city of Westland. So thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. It appears just Sam.
Yeah, how many employees do you think you're going to have at this facility?
So it's my place, and my girlfriend here, she's kind of like my assistant. She's in charge of most of the alligators and crocodiles, and I'm in charge of most of the snakes. And down the line, we hopefully will employ my younger sister here or someone like her to answer the phones and take admission as people come in.
Okay.
But no more than three people, I would think, need to be there. Yes, ma'am, yeah.
And I'm sure everybody would like to see, you want to go out in your car and bring some of the snakes in here and let them people see them?
I was saying, if you want me to be honest, I actually have a snake in my jacket here.
You got one there, okay.
I didn't know if anybody would
All
want
right,
to see
I'm
it or
looking
not.
forward to seeing you here.
Okay.
I guess it's my turn.
Okay, let's hear
So
it.
I don't normally comment, but I gotta echo a lot of the commentary up here. It's certainly a very interesting proposal that you have presented to us, and I am very supportive of what you're trying to accomplish here. Obviously, we're having quite a bit of fun with your proposal, But I assure you, we do take it very, very seriously.
Thank you.
And we are very appreciative of what you are trying to bring as far as a facility to Westland. I myself, when I was in grade school, I believe it was kindergarten, actually, I was at Detroit Country Day School, and they brought in a boa for us to interact with and touch. And I mean, I'm still not particularly comfortable with with our reptilian friends. However, because of that exposure, I have some amount of, I guess the word tolerance is the best, where my mom certainly does not. So, but I really do like the position that you've chosen. The spot that you've chosen is quite ideal for the proposal. You have a number of veterinary facilities nearby you.
Yes, sir.
So, and with regard to, because I did consider the live food issue, and I know that there are pet stores that do sell reptiles in the area, and they do store live food without there being much of an issue in those areas that I am aware of. I guess I have only a couple of questions for you. Number one, is this going to be in any way, shape, or form a retail operation?
No, sir.
So no sales of animals, or like those little squeezy things like reptiles on a stick with the mouth?
No, I mean, we thought about selling like hoodies and T-shirts and stuff in front of the building, but no animals for sale.
Okay.
Yeah, merchandise.
Merch.
Yes, sir.
Merch, probably much better than animals. Certainly there's a concern there that somebody would get into a reptilian pet that they are not prepared for. And of course, I would assume that you, being very knowledgeable, would kind of step into those kind of roles.
That's what we're trying to avoid
Which leads me
here.
into my second question. Do you, sir, have any connection with reptile rescues? And as a community member, would you be open to pursuing, making sure that anybody who does get into a reptile that they don't want has the ability to, through you, find a reptile rescue?
We're very open to it, but at the time, we have so much money and time invested into the animals that we have that we'd be worried about maybe taking in some sicknesses or issues like that. But if the animal was definitely healthy, then we would quarantine it and take it in and keep it ourselves, or push it on to somebody else that could handle it.
Well, certainly the question was more for a suggestion for the future than anything else. I am looking forward to you being a nice addition to Westland.
Appreciate it.
So with that, I believe that a motion is in order. Recognizing, actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to have Darrell Rounds take this one.
I move that we close the public hearing, waive the normal rules, and that case number 2055B, proposed special land use for a serpentarium located in 958 North Newburgh, east side of Newburgh, north of Cherry Hill Road, be forwarded with the recommendation for approval contingent upon departmental requirements and recommendations.
Support. Recognizing Rounds for the motion and Richards for the second. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote, recommending approval of case number 2055B. Durante?
Yes.
Folks?
Yes.
Hobbs?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Richards?
A soft yes.
Oh, no.
It's a yes, though.
Rounds?
Bill
Yes.
Counts.
Statchow?
Yes.
Swokas?
Yes.
Rappaport?
Yes. Sir, your petition's been approved, and we wish you the best of luck as you go before the city council. If you have any questions, the administration can guide you on next steps.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Recognizing, prior to moving on to item number 4, recognizing Deborah Fox for a commentary.
Sir, I just have one more question. I'm going to try to get my nerve up and come into your shop. Okay, he's going to go with me. My only concern is that you feed them guinea pigs, and I know that sounds bad, but
They're already dead.
humanely killed.
They're frozen solid when we get them.
They're pets. They're pets. They're just pets, that's how I feel. Okay, that's enough.
Very good then. Moving on to case number 1941I, proposed site plan and special land use approval for an automobile washing establishment at 6501 North Wayne Road. Brandon Kassab, petitioner. Administration?
Thank you. The subject property here is Zone CB3 General Commercial Business. The property comprises of about 2 acres. It contains a approximately 1,100 square foot single-story vacant building previously occupied by a CVS. The petitioner tonight proposes to transform the vacant building into a car wash. The petitioner is seeking site plan and special land use approval to proceed. Property to the north is Zone CB3 General Commercial Business and is developed by the Hunter Retail Center Plaza. Property to the south is Zone CB3 General Commercial Business, developed by Hunter Wayne Liquor Store. Property to the west is Zone CB2, that's also the Hunter Retail Center Plaza. And properties to the east is Zone CB1, it's currently undeveloped. So a majority of this site will remain as existing. The site will be accessed by existing driveways throughout the site that are shared by the Hunter Retail Center and the Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant. There's 2 driveways located on Wayne Road and 2 on Hunter, primary access points for this proposed car wash. The proposed site contains adequate stacking that is controlled and designated with a curb that will be installed as part of this car wash project. The stacking area does contain an emergency escape lane, which we like to see in these operations and other drive-through restaurant operations as well. The site does comply with the parking requirement for a car wash. The requirement is 4 off-street parking spaces to accommodate the highest employee shift. There's 56 being proposed, which is how the site is laid out currently. Landscape screening is existing and compliant with the zoning ordinance. In addition to this existing landscaping, the developer proposes new landscaping, shrubs and trees throughout the parking lot, in addition to the grass-planted areas fronting both Hunter and Wayne to beef up the existing landscaping there, which is above and beyond the current requirements. There's a detailed landscaping plan in your packet, and I have the rendering up on the screen. The hours of operation at the time of writing this staff report are proposed to be 7 a.m. through 8 p.m. on weekdays and Saturdays, and from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. The building, as constructed, has masonry and ephes, which will remain. There are minor modifications being proposed to the facade, including new wall signage that you see there on the rendering. The proposed building does comply with the zoning ordinance relative to building height, lot coverage, setbacks, and all of those bulk requirements and details. The special land use, we believe, will not be detrimental to the orderly development of the surrounding area. The site indicates adequate off-street parking, vehicle stacking, and access that is controlled throughout the site and throughout the retail areas as well. So we believe that stacking and access will be controlled, not impacting any adjacent thoroughfares. Site screening and landscaping, as mentioned earlier, are provided in excess of the zoning ordinance requirements. There are no variances being requested by the developer. The site plan was accompanied by a traffic impact study prepared by a certified traffic engineer. The study generally examined potential traffic impact of the proposed car wash and found no significant impact on traffic operations on the adjacent road network based on industry standard guidelines and analysis. The 2018 future land use designation for this site, a little portion of it jogging the way that North Wayne Road runs south and north is shop and dine, but the majority of it is community commercial, which is consistent with this use. You may remember this developer working with the city on the former Alexander the Great location. And at the time, the Planning Commission and City Council did not feel that that location was adequate for a car wash due to conflicts with the shop and dine district, generally being in the direct adjacent area to the mall, which we are wanting to keep a pedestrian focus and development around. So we have been working with the developer recently to find a new space. They found this space and have been working on the site plan for various months, including the traffic impact study. We are recommending approval of this petition, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I know the developer, who you may recognize, is also in the audience as well with his team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Administrator. If I can please have the petitioner rise to the podium and be recognized. Welcome again.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody again.
Did you have anything that you'd like to add to the presentation of the administration?
I'll add a little bit of context maybe to what Mo spoke to, but I think he hit all the critical points that were probably most important to the commission tonight. So again, Eric Williams with Stonefield Engineering and Design. Brandon Kassab is the developer in the back, and then we also have Dennis Miller, who is right here representing the car wash brand Clean Express. So again, Mo had alluded to the fact that we were in front of you previously, and unfortunately that application wasn't able to move forward. But this application we think is a little bit different, a little bit more unique in the ability to reuse the existing CVS building. You know, obviously everybody's driven by there, you've seen it. It is a little tired, it could use a little love, but it's realistically not that old. So what we think is this gives us a great opportunity to reutilize the shell of the building. Obviously we're gonna remove the interior, gut it, install the car wash facilities within it, but be able to maintain that existing structure, obviously clean up the brick, beautify it a little bit, add some new signage, and really reactivate that corner of the city. So I'm going to jump through my notes here, but I think kind of the critical pieces are obviously the special land use criteria in terms of what Mo spoke to. So one of those is being the project will minimize impacts of traffic generated through the site. So when we looked at this, Mo already mentioned it, we're looking to maintain access to Hunter and Wayne via the shared access drives that exist with the Hunter Retail Plaza. So really no new driveways onto either roadway. We're obviously right in the intersection there. That's not typically good practice to construct new driveways. So we saw this as a good opportunity to maintain existing traffic patterns and are hoping to do so. Again, based on the traffic impact study, I'm not sure if anybody read it, and Mo kind of touched on it, but really this use in comparison to the CVS, which is about 11,000 square feet as it sits today, during the Saturday peak hour, we would expect to see less than 17 additional vehicle trips onto the site in the span of an hour. So when you think about 17 trips over an hour, I mean, that's insignificant. You will not notice it. And in fact, during the PM peak hour during the weekday, there's actually a reduction in trips from what you'd see to CVS. So again, it's insignificant, but there is no real increase in traffic to the property or the surrounding areas. And as you look through the TIS, there's things that speak to the no build condition. So whether or not this is built, the levels of service along Hunter and Wayne will remain unchanged. So again, just showing this lack of traffic impact based on the comparison to existing uses. And Mo, if you can maybe just pull up the site plan. So I know one of the things with car washes is obviously access, site circulation. So everybody's familiar with the CVS at this point. You know, it's been there for, I'm not sure how many years. But I think if you look at this site plan in comparison to the CVS, it actually mimics the existing site circulation, right? So there's the counterclockwise circulation that you have of the CVS drive-through today, where you loop west around the site, south, and then you continue north one way. Really what we did is we maintained that to the greatest extent possible. And what that allowed us to do was maintain the existing shared parking with the Hunter Retail Plaza while adding the new use. So what you would do is you can either, northeast corner is access from Wayne. You can enter the site and navigate south and then, west and then south. Or you can enter off of Hunter. You're obviously headed north and then east. All of the stacking is going to enter the southwest corner of the building and continue east and then north around the building, exactly how CVS exists today. So again, we're trying to show that there's going to be minimal to no impacts to the existing shopping center. I think another important one that we were looking at is no impacts to the natural environment. Again, this is a developed site. Obviously, it's not operational now, but what we're actually seeing with this site layout in comparison to CVS is an increase in green space of 6,300 square feet. So we thought that was actually a pretty cool piece to the development. The other thing we were able to do is add additional trees along Hunter and Wayne Road to supplement those mature trees that are in place, shrubbery, et cetera. So really just looking to beautify the site and reactivate it. I think one of the other unique opportunities with installing the car wash into an existing building is the ability to place vacuums within the interior, right? We're in Michigan, everybody's been outside today. It's kind of rainy, it's kind of nasty, but there will be 8 vacuums that are free for anybody that are completely enclosed within the building. So we thought this was another great amenity to bring to the site. And then lastly, I think just touching on the brick facade again, it's a great building. We're just looking to clean it up, reactivate it, and looking forward to moving forward and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. If I can have you find a nearby seat. This is a public hearing, special land use, so we will be opening it up to the citizens in attendance. If there's anybody on my right that wishes to speak on the car wash matter, seeing none. If there's anybody on my left that wishes to speak on the car wash, seeing none. Sir, if I can have you regain the podium, and we will open it up to the commission. To my right, recognizing Ruby Richards.
I just want to say I'm glad to see you're back and you at a new location, and I love it. I looked at your plans and everything, and I think that'll be a great spot for it. So, and I think it would bring some life back to that area. So, I'm for you.
Thank you very much. To my left, recognizing Commissioner Swokas.
Through the chair to the petitioner, I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's a great use for it. I like, that it's something that's been established out there. Looking at your traffic study, I noticed that it was done close to Christmas. And I mean, I think we can all be real here. It's trafficked at that time because we are shop and dine. But I would gather to say it's probably going to be heavier in the spring and summer, say the May to September, because traditionally not a lot of people, at least from what I have seen, go out in the cold and want to wash their car or take their car. A lot of people tend to want to get more in the, in the summer, they'll go a couple times a week. I mean, I know one of my fellow commissioners here, she seems like she goes to the car wash more than most. But I'm excited about it. The other concern I have, and this is to my fellow commissioners, In the recommendation, and maybe this is something for Mo, you from administration to answer, talks about the voluntary community benefits proposed, offered to the city. I have an ethical problem putting that into a motion for approval contingent upon compliance with giving a voluntary community benefits thing, because then it gives an appearance of an impropriety. While that may not be the intention, I would not support a motion if that was in there saying that that was a must be offered or must happen in order to get this approved, because I think we run into a problem that it just does not look ethical.
Chair will recognize that as a request to be permitted to make the motion.
Thank you. I'm all set.
Understood?
Yep.
And if I might just respond to the TIS comment?
By all means, please do.
Okay, sure. So I think when you look at the date on the TIS, right, that is when it was done. The process of doing that is we hire a company, outside consultant, to go collect traffic counts at, X number of intersections in the area. Christmas time, everybody's out shopping, everybody's busy. It's actually a great time to get very, very conservative traffic counts that may overinflate. As far as car washes during the wintertime, I would agree that that's not an ideal time, but that's not what we're looking at that point in time. So really, the traffic count should be inflated from what we would expect to see. ITE, which is a national traffic handbook, essentially establishes a number of trips on an average basis throughout the year. So timing of the study, I think, was maybe overly conservative and less ideal for us in terms of an increase in existing traffic volumes, but in reality, it should be a conservative analysis.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Thank you very much. The commissioner's concern is specifically for an improper quid pro quo, obviously. Certainly, there's nothing wrong with mentioning the existence of an understanding, but I tend to agree with the commissioner that that conditioning the approval on such a quid pro quo is an ethical concern. To my left, or sorry, to my right, recognizing Sam Durante. I'm not going to make him wait again.
I'm very happy that you came back to the city. I know you were disappointed when we turned you down on Warren Avenue, but that was a shop and dine. And I'm glad you found another location, and I'm looking forward to being a customer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Returning to my left, did you wish to speak on the matter,
Yes,
Commissioner
yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Recognizing Commissioner Fox.
I don't know where you got the idea that I do a lot of car wash, but that's okay. I'm just happy to see that you came back and that you're going to rehab one of the properties that's just sitting vacant. So thank you for coming back and bringing us to Westland.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Recognizing Darrell Rounds.
Good evening. So I'm looking at the renderings, and it's beautiful, especially if you guys are able to pull it off just like it looks in that area, because just revitalization is just good. So thank you for coming back, and thank you for considering Westland for your business. Question though, how many employees do you guys think you would have for that operation?
Typically 3 on an average shift.
3 on average.
Even if it gets really busy, we'll staff up, on the snowy winter day when you get salt off your cars, when you get busy, we may have some more employees.
Because it's really automated, right? Yeah, all right, thank you.
Anyone to my left? Recognizing Commissioner Hobbs.
I just think it's nice to see both some rehab of an existing space as well as increased green space associated with an auto-centric use. So I appreciate you coming back, and I think this is a large improvement over being in the shop and dine.
Recognizing Deanna Stashow.
Hi, once again, thank you for returning as well. Also, too, we do realize that that is somewhat of a shop and dine area, but on the same token, a portion of it is the community commercial, which you definitely fit into, and that's a good service for our area. Also, too, The upgrade on that landscaping looks very, very nice. And it makes such a big difference to the area, and I think to the community and people driving by, to see something that is very well kept and presented. And that's a good upgrade for our Westland as well. So appreciate, that. It looks like it's going to really turn out well. And two, I feel that it's a good location, so the best to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Recognizing Mr. Hopkins.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. So, my concern is that there's not a left-hand turn lane at Wayne and Hunter. Secondly, that I hope that this doesn't fail, but if it should, I believe that it has the opportunity to turn into a gas station. Am I correct on that, Commissioner Rappaport?
To the administration?
Gas stations will require special land use approval similar to this, so it will have to go before you and then the city council again.
Very good. Further, on June 17th, 1992, the city council denied a request for special land use approval for the Cantonese Village Restaurant because of an overabundance of restaurants in the Westland Plaza, the potential negative traffic impacts on Wayne Road and Hunter Avenue, and the potential burden on existing water and sewer services at the shopping center. I can't think of anything more that might put a burden on the sewers than a car wash. What have we done to address these issues since 1992? And if there isn't anything done since 1992, what are we going to do to address these potential impacts on the existing water and sewer at the shopping center?
From the chair to the administration, is the administration aware of any upgrades in the sewer system since the stated date?
I am not aware of any issues on the water or sewer services or connections here at this site. In my 10 years of doing planning, I've not heard of a restaurant causing a burden on any water or sewer services.
I'm just reading from the pending and previous actions.
Yeah, it also said that overabundance of restaurants. I mean, this would probably look okay, a restaurant to be there right now, so I'm not sure which.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it aware to see what and if.
I'm not sure what this was 4 years old.
Okay, so I guess I'm just saying it was a concern then. Should it be a concern now? And if it is, what are we going to do about it?
Engineering and DPS have reviewed this, and they have indicated no issues with the proposal. There were preliminary discussions when this was being brought forward before the site plan was developed about traffic, but then a traffic impact study was provided. Stacking is being tucked in and designated into that curb. There's an emergency slip lane, and engineering, after the final plan was submitted, had no objections. Neither did police and fire from a traffic standpoint. And engineering and DPS know the sewer and water system more than I do, and they also indicated no objection. So I don't know what this is all about, a restaurant being a burden on the sewer and water system. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're good. We're not going to have any problems with sewers?
I will indicate tomorrow morning to engineering to take a closer look. If there are any issues, I will bring that back to you. We will discuss it. If there's further complications or issues, we can have that conversation at the city council meeting. I will assure you that I will do that.
Very good, thank you.
No problem.
The chair is presently aware that the petitioner took notes on your suggestion, so I have some confidence that it will be addressed.
Very good.
And I think the other piece to mention is this is going to be a multi-million-dollar investment. I can promise you the car wash does not want those issues. So if there is an issue, we'll work through them with Mo and the engineering consultants to make sure that they're
It's just what we're
non-existent.
given, so, it's all we have to go on is, and, there's some deep history here for the previous planning commission, so, they had a concern at one time, so I'm just thinking that if they did, we should as well.
Yeah, of course. And we appreciate it because it's not something that was brought to our attention until the staff report. I think the other thing to keep in mind is, a lot of the modern car washes do reuse a substantial amount of water as it's brought on site, right? They have their reclamation tanks where the sediment, the soaps are settled out. Eventually those will be pumped at, if it's every month or whenever they're full, depending on the amount of use. So a lot of the water actually gets reused and there's not a ton that is discharged into the sewer system.
It's recycled.
Correct. A lot of recycled water in these current washes. So much more efficient than, washes from the 1980s, 1990s.
I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I'm happy that you came back as well. Like I said, I'm just covering all of our bases here, as we should.
Yeah, 100%. We appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody additionally on my left? Anybody additionally on my right? Hearing none, I'd like to echo my board members, my colleagues, that we are very, very pleased to see you back here. It was not an easy decision for us to deny your petition the last time you came before us. We were still reeling from a similar proposal that was trying to go into the actual parking lot of the mall, which I think most of us can agree is not exactly an acceptable risk. I do very much appreciate that you've re-envisioned your participation, and while I am also concerned with the water issue, with the sewage issue, I will remind everybody that previously it survived a Taco Bell and an Elias Brothers, which currently aren't in operation, but it is still a considerable risk to keep your eye on. Certainly, you don't want to waste your investment. If there are no additional comments, a motion is in order, and by reminder, this is a public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Recognizing yes. Recognizing the inimitable David Swokas for the motion.
I move that we close the public hearing, waive the normal rules, and we send case number 19411, proposed site plan and special land use approval for an automobile washing establishment, northwest corner of Wayne and Hunter Avenue, subject to departmental requirements and recommendations, including the engineering check that administration will do about the water thing, just as a sanity check, and that will be it, with a recommendation for approval.
I have a question.
Recognized for a point of inquiry.
Yeah, so the motion called for case number 19411 to be sent.
That's
It's
what I-
recorded as 19411I.
Okay, so then I stand corrected. Case number 19411I.
Just to be honest, yes.
Is there a second? Motion by Swokas, support by Richards. The chair recognizes the existence of an understanding that is not part of the motion. Roll call, please.
Okay, this is a roll call vote to recommend approval of case number 1941I with the condition that the planning staff and engineering staff take a closer look at the sewer and water issues mentioned from a 1992 case. Durante,
Yes.
Folks,
Yes.
Hobbs,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Richards.
Yes.
Rounds.
Yes.
Statchop.
Yes.
Swokas.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. You have our recommendation going into the city council meeting. Please be in contact with the administration for next steps.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Moving on finally to case number 1707J, proposed site plan and special land use approval for Nursing and Rehabilitation Center at 1155 North Wayne Road, north side of Marquette, West Wayne Road. Petitioner is Elton Frank. Administration, please.
Okay, thank you. The subject property comprises of a little under 17 acres. It is zoned CB1 Low Intensity Commercial Business District. This is after the Planning Commission and City Council rezoned a portion of it. I believe its previous designation was single family to CB1, so now the entire property is zoned CB1. That was in order to facilitate this development that I'm going to be walking you through. The petitioner tonight is requesting site plan and special land use approval to develop a 24-hour skilled nursing home with 98 private suites, each including a private bathroom and shower. The skilled nursing home will provide rehabilitation and physical therapy services, the majority of which will be inpatient, along with a limited amount of outpatient services. The nursing home will also offer a broad range of amenities to its patients and social activities for its residents, along with a dining hall and kitchen. Property to the north is zoned R5, single-family residential, and is vacant. Property to the south is zoned R5 as well. Properties to the east are zoned CB1, low-intensity commercial business district, and developed by a variety of commercial buildings. Properties to the west, zone PUD, planned unit development, and are developed by the Abbeys of Westland and also by the Marquette House, an assisted living community. The site plan will be accessed by 2 full-service drives at Campus Drive. The site plan requires 77 parking spaces and provided are 119 spaces. Therefore, the site complies with the parking requirement for a nursing home. Landscape screening is provided along Campus Drive and Marquette in accordance with zoning ordinance requirements. A detailed description and landscape plan detailing the plantings and all of that good stuff is in your packet. A portion of the landscape plan is up on the screen as well. The proposed building will be constructed using a variety of building materials. Proposed materials include stone, concrete block, and vinyl siding. The building complies with all of the bulk requirements of the zoning ordinance for this zoning district. The proposed building height is 30.33 feet. Proposed lot coverage is 11.2%. Proposed front setback, 256 feet. Proposed side yard setback is 50 feet, and the rear yard setback is 183 feet. The building is obvious, you can see it on the screen, is designed to have a residential character. It's a residential facility. There is a stormwater management plan that is provided in the plan set and will be reviewed and approved by Wayne County, the drain office. Exterior lighting includes recessed lighting in the ceiling of the canopy, pole-mounted LED lights, and bollards containing lighting. Pole lights, the poles will be 20 feet maximum in height. There is a photometric that shows compliance with the zoning ordinance not exceeding 1 foot candle at the property line. That is contained in your backup. We do not believe that this special land use will be detrimental to the orderly development of the surrounding area. The site plan indicates adequate off-street parking and access, site screening and landscaping, and also the building design complies with all of the bulk requirements, and as mentioned earlier, has a residential character and feel to it to sort of fit in with the adjacent abbeys as well. It is considered a complementary use as well to the Marquette House. There are no variances being requested by the developer. The future land use designation for this site is residential, and at the time of the rezoning case, we did discuss it sort of being in compliance with this skilled nursing facility, providing high-level medical care for seniors who need 24/7 support and are residents of the facility. The recommendation from the administration is to approve this use. Today, and maybe even yesterday, the city's planning department as well as mayor's office received concerns from the residents of the abbeys, primarily expressing concerns about access being provided from Campus Drive. This is Campus Drive here. It's a private road. You can access it off of Marquette. The site, as proposed, has access here off of Campus Drive and here off of Campus Drive. So residents of the abbeys expressed concern with this proposed access, maybe due to some nuisances or additional traffic volumes that could be generated and things like that. The city has on file and provided with this case from the petitioner a variety of materials and information that show that this drive is private and that this drive is regulated by a variety of easements and agreements for both access and maintenance. You have received those copies today, and I have sent copies of those to at least two of the residents potentially in the audience today, residents of the abbeys, one of them who I believe is a board member. The city strongly believes, and frankly knows, that access to this site can be granted from Campus Drive. And there was also concern that the residents of the abbeys were misinformed or misguided or misled on the May 7th, 2024 meeting that there will not be access from Campus Drive. I did watch that Planning Commission meeting today to understand and better learn what actually did occur. I have it up on the website if we need to watch it. But at the 17-minute mark, the site plan was up on the screen, and we did have a brief discussion about it. And this exact same site plan with those two access points off of Campus Drive was submitted as a concept plan back then. So I just wanted to mention that. That is really all I have on this case. I'm happy to go into further detail or answer any questions that you may have. The petitioners are sitting in the front there as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, administration. If I can please have the petitioner rise to the podium and be recognized.
Hi.
Hi
I'm
there.
Julie
Is there,
Townsend with Driesinga, yes, representing them.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm Julie Townsend with Driesinga and Associates. I'm representing the petitioner.
Thank you very much. Did you have anything to add to the presentation by the administration?
No, I don't have anything to add at this time.
As this is a special land use and a public hearing, at this time, I'm going to ask for public participation. I anticipate there's going to be quite a bit.
Okay.
This forum is primarily for them to be heard, their concerns to be heard. but it's also a forum for you to hear them. And we hope that you make the most of this forum, and we entreat our guests to treat everybody with respect. So if I could please have you find a seat, and if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on this matter, on my right, specifically if there is a Mary Seymour in the audience.
On the left.
She's on the left? I'll get you in a
She's on the
second.
left.
Ma'am, please step to the podium and be recognized.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sandy Powers. I'm the president of the Board of Directors of the Abbeys of Westland, and I am addressing the council on behalf of the Abbeys of Westland. I prepared this statement because I'm not a good public speaker, so please bear with me. Okay? I know I have 3 minutes. The Abbeys is a condominium complex to the west of the proposed development. The Abbeys of Westland has 104 condominiums and a clubhouse housed in 27 buildings, and it's a significant tax base for the city of Westland. While we are not opposed to this development at all, we are opposed to the location of the entrances to it being located on Campus Drive. The Abbeys owns Campus Drive and bears all costs for the maintenance of Campus Drive. That includes the concrete, that includes any failure of the drainage system, et cetera. That includes snow plowing and salting that road. At the first commission meeting, a representative of the nursing facility did state, and I would like to see that video actually, that the entrance would be off of Marquette and the area on campus would be a green belt. This was agreeable to everyone at the Abbeys. So the Abbeys of Westland formally objects to the site plan due to the following. 1, Campus Drive is a private road, which is maintained by the Abbeys. All costs associated with the road are paid for by the Abbeys. The Abbeys did not agree to share the road with the new facility, nor has the developer submitted any plans for reimbursement of costs to damage caused by construction, to road wear and tear, to storm sewer maintenance, plowing and salting, etc. Number 2, the Abbeys, in working with the city of Westland over the years, has an agreement to maintain a natural perimeter around our community. This development is in direct conflict with that agreement and will remove the natural woods to the east of Campus Drive. 3, because proposed ingress and egress is off of Campus Drive and because this facility is 24/7 with a complete staff of support personnel, maintenance people, plus residents, there will be substantial increase in traffic throughout our community, not only on Campus Drive, but also Traditions and Abbey Drive, because that is how people can get to and from Central City Parkway to this facility. Number 4, Abbey Drive and Traditions are also privately owned streets and are maintained by the Abbeys as well. Since we will no longer be a private complex with private streets, will the city take over maintaining the concrete streets, storm sewers, and plow and salt in the winter? So to clarify and conclude, the Abbeys of Westland is formally requesting the following. 1, entrance for this facility be moved to Marquette or Wayne Road, and that any access via Campus Drive be denied. 2, no construction traffic be allowed on Campus Drive to eliminate the possibility of damage to Campus Drive from the very heavy construction material and trucks. 3, the building to be 100 feet from Campus Drive so that a natural perimeter can be kept. We are also further asking that this vote be postponed, if possible, so that we have more time to engage an attorney. We only received the site plan for this yesterday. I did anyway. And so I engaged our attorney, but our attorney certainly can't look at all of the easements and all of the site plans and all of the 26 pages that I received today. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Ms. Seymour, are you on my left? Ma'am. Please rise to the podium.
I can't top that.
Nobody asked you to, but we do want your opinion.
May I ask why I was singled out?
Ms. Seymour, you sent us a letter.
I did?
I figured that
Oh, okay,
was
so that- okay.
indicating that you wished to speak.
Okay,
So I will be redundant to what Sandy has said, but I'll just read what I wrote. So I strongly object to the campus entrance for the following reasons. The roads in the Abbeys are private. We do not depend on the city of Westland for maintenance, repair, or replacement. So who will pay for the additional wear and tear on our roads? Extra traffic, which is sure to come when this complex is completed. The extra traffic will be a safety issue also on our roads. We do not have door delivery of our mail. Our residents walk to the central mailbox to pick up their mail, and they're positioned near the roadway, so you're often in the roadway to get your mail out of the mailbox. Some of our co-owners go to the mailbox with a walker or a motorized wheel cart or something like that. So this could be a danger. We're worried about the loss of trees that are adjacent to to the Abbeys. So I'm wondering, are we at the stage where a tree permit has been applied for as the ordinance of Westland requires? Has the tree permit been taken care of yet? And the tree survey been completed? Vehicles cut through the Abbeys already on a regular basis, even before this facility would get there, because there's a couple of reasons for that. They cut through maybe off Carlson to cut through our area and then go out to Marquette because they want to avoid the light at the corner of Carlson and Marquette. Or, they just want to, then the Marquette is heavily policed to maintain the speed limit, which is good. But they come through our area and it's not policed and they ignore the speed limit. So they can do more than 25 going through ours, where if they're on Marquette, they're likely they might get a ticket. So I would like to know, has a traffic impact study been done in that area too, to see this extra traffic that's already going through our area, and this new facility will only add to it. Is my time up yet? Okay. So, why can't the entrance be on Wayne Road, and why can it be on Marquette? I realize it requires a design change, but I'm throwing those questions out there. If this site already has a Wayne Road address, which is printed on the picture we got, then why isn't the entrance out there? So what will the address of this facility be? Where on Campus Drive are the proposed driveways? Is it going to be right across from the Westland house? Or farther down? I mean, you can answer these after I sit down, but I'm just throwing these questions out there, expecting a good answer. So who currently owns and maintains the part of campus that runs from the edge of our property to Marquette? It never gets plowed in the winter. It's just left like that. So I don't know who's supposed to maintain it now. We maintain, the other part of it. I'd like to know, what stage of the planning process, according to the Westland website, is this proposal at? I know it goes to council next, but is that the last stop?
I can answer that directly. This is a recommending body, Ms. Seymour. We analyze whether the proposal meets minimum requirements for acceptability.
Mm-hmm.
And the ultimate decision is, in fact, for the city council. And if you did have additional commentary, I would politely ask you to keep it kind of focused on things that the petitioner can actually address. They can't address people breaking traffic laws, and they certainly have no ability to address things in the past with snow removal.
Okay. All right, and let's see. Well, my final question is, when did the public, or when does the public notification phase begin? Like, we just learned about this, so I know some of our co-owners got postcards about that previous meeting, but when should that have begun?
I can answer that as well. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, there's a certain distance from the proposed
300.
site that the city is required to notify. So that process has already been
300 feet.
undertaken.
Well, so when did that start?
It's keyed off of these meetings. So the notification of the meetings goes out as a requirement of the Open Meetings Act, and the city is in compliance.
Okay, so when the building begins, if this is a done deal and they do begin construction, we would like to be assured there will be safeguards in place to keep your the heavy construction equipment off of our private roads. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. If there is anybody additionally on my right wishing to speak, I see a number of hands. We'll start from the front and go back. This younger lady with the red hair. For the interest of time management, I assume that quite a number of you have similar concerns to each other. And although I do not want you to fail to express yourselves, please, if you have nothing to add to a particular topic, just simply say, echo the issue of the road cuts, for example. And that's, this board has 100% heard you, and we certainly, the developer has heard you.
Right.
So, please,
Okay.
be recognized.
My name is Deborah Weigel. We were not notified that there was a zoning change there from residential to commercial. And my other concern is that forested area is full of deer. Is there any plan to collect these deer and relocate them somewhere? Because right now they're trapped off other than coming through and into our community. And that was all I wanted to bring up.
Thank you very much. Anybody additionally on my left?
Oh, left, yes.
Yes? Please, rise and be recognized.
My name is Robert Tam, and I live in the Abbeys of Westland. As appointed members of this board, your job was to balance the will of the city and the development plan, as well as the affected citizens of the surrounding communities while making your decision. This has not happened, in my opinion. Misinformation and misdirection are the operative words for what has happened. When this whole process started, it was nothing but a rumor, and our community sat to discuss this rumor, and to substantiate that, we came to the city and asked about this rumor. We were told that there was nothing on the books at that time. And that was in the summer last year, 2024. On February 25th, we were notified about the public meeting for this address at 1155 North Wayne Road. At this time, another member of the Abbeys board contacted the city asking for documents and a plan. They were told the final plan was not available, only to be revealed at this meeting. And now, I understand, there's a vote to be had. So this development continues to be deceiving to the general public. Where is the entrance? The plan shows entrances off of our campus drive, which is a private road maintained by the Abbeys. This will greatly affect our community in many ways. As stated already, this is a private road owned and maintained by the Abbeys. This includes and not limited to lawn care, snow removal, sewer repair, concrete repairs. The city has no skin in the game. During the construction phase, Campus Drive will be severely impacted due to the heavy equipment traffic, and some of these things may not show up immediately as damage to the road. Later on, these damages that have occurred will manifest, and we will be hung with the bill. At that point, it becomes a burden and a hardship to all the members and residents. Additionally, there will be the extra traffic that's already been addressed, noise pollution in the community. We have a nice, quiet, serene community we all enjoy and love. We don't need this extra aggravation. Any reasonable person would be aware and consider these claims. Therefore, I would like to propose a delay or injunction, if you will, against today's vote until other avenues are considered. For example, a single entrance from Marquette, south of the pipeline, or west of the pipeline, where you could access your property and you could get around just fine. If we can't do that, a separate road with a boulevard separating Campus Drive from that said drive. So it would still travel the same route, but be separated by a small boulevard that could then also be beautified with plants and additional green space. Secondly, I propose there be a bond, if you will, a cash escrow held for $1 million for future damages that can be caused by the accelerated.
Sir, if I can please have you, limit your commentary to general, not specific solutions to your issues. We do have a meeting to conclude. And I assure you, in the event that any of your suggestions are to be addressed by the developer, there will be an opportunity for you to get into the details of your proposed solutions.
And that is to my point. When were we going to be able to address these things?
Each process is noticed the same way and has been noticed the same way in compliance with the Open Meetings Act.
To continue, just to reiterate, we will lose the wildlife, there'll be wildlife loss. We do have a large deer population that lives in the forest area there. And I was just curious, did the DNR address what will happen to these animals? We'll also lose that natural barrier that was brought up. Just to reiterate, we will lose that natural barrier. And again, I believe that reasonable people would see this development as an issue for the current residents. So just please do better next time.
Thank you very much. Anybody wish to speak on my right? Okay. This very eager lady
Hi, I'm Connie
in the
Orr,
bright orange.
and I live in the Abbeys. I spoke to Mohammed this afternoon. So my concern, I've only been there a short time, but I know when I moved into Westland from Garden City, I knew going into it that my taxes would be raised. So I know because I'm a newer owner, my summer taxes alone are over $5,000. Now that is, people, I tell them that and they go, you've got to be kidding for Westland, but it's true. So when we started hearing this, not that may or may not be relevant, but because that Campus Drive is a private road, and they're already there doing soil sampling. And when I called Mohammed today saying that there was soil sampling going on, he instructed me that could be done at any time, anywhere it was okay to do that. Okay, I learned something new today. But in the meantime, we've got trucks, we've got large trailers full of different equipment and so forth that is placed on Campus Drive. We are concerned. You've heard it over and over again tonight. We know. I joined the board 2 years ago. Would I have thought how much it would cost to replace concrete or grass or snow or any of that stuff? No, I would not have. I was the person that lived in my home and just paid the bill. But I know how much it costs to replace concrete and the other things that are damaged. So we are concerned that these large vehicles are on that private property that is the Abbeys of Westland. So my question is, and I don't know if I should address these guys direct, if I'm allowed to do that, is, to me, it seems very simple. We're not against the facility. I specifically have older friends that need this type of care. Absolutely. The only thing we're asking, literally, is leave the trees and stay off of Campus Drive. That's all we're asking. When all this has been said and done, that's the only thing we're asking. So I know that it's not, it's the council's decision, but it seems like a very small ask based on what is going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody additionally on my left? Seeing the lady in the front with the black jacket.
Hi, my name is Sue Pear, and I live in the Abbeys, as everyone else does. And I will keep this really brief because I don't want to go over everything other people have. The only things I wanted to add was that I also have a concern about the lighting that's going to be in the parking lot. We have people that live on Campus Drive that have to face this business and have this lighting 24/7 in their windows. So that's a concern that hasn't been addressed yet. And the other thing I just want to point out is we have 104 units. There are a lot of seniors in that facility that couldn't be here today that wanted to be. So you do see a lot of residents here, but there's a lot more that have the same concerns. In fact, everyone. So I just wanted to point that out.
Speaking briefly directly to the concern about lighting, city ordinance requires all lighting to be downcast. And and it looks from the site plan proposal that there is screening for lighting. Anybody on my right?
Excuse me. My name's Chuck, and I live in the Abbeys. I didn't write anything to talk from or speak from, so I'm just going to wing it. I've been in the Abbeys for 3 years now. I'm on the board. My biggest concern is the people that live over there on campus in that end of Traditions Drive, right? They paid a lot of money for their condos. I paid a lot of money for my condo, but I don't live on that area. But what is their quality of life going to be like where they live now with that big business sitting right there on campus with all the traffic coming and going? And it's going to increase the traffic, there's no question. They can put the drives to this facility on Marquette there, and it solves everybody's problem. It makes the most sense, instead of disrupting everything that we have over on this side of our neighborhood for those people that live there. So as you can tell, I'm getting a little bit nervous because I'm not used to talking to big groups like this. Yeah, exactly. So, but that's what we would like. We know we need more facilities like this because the population is aging, and it looks like it's going to be a really, really nice facility. But with the traffic and everything, it's just going to make the quality of life for our neighbors at the Abbeys at that end decline, and that's not fair to them. So that's all I got.
Thank you very much. This gentleman in the gray has been standing and
Been waiting for a long time.
obviously.
My name's Ted Lucas. I moved in Westland when it was 1959 with Nankin Township. I got here late for the meeting because I don't want to take too much time for Abby's people, but I want to make a comment on the car wash.
Please be recognized on the car wash issue, but be aware, we've already recommended
I know, but
approval.
I want to make a comment on it. I tried to earlier, but
It's unfortunate because the petitioner has
I know,
since
but I
left.
want to do it anyway.
However, the administration is here, and they can hear your concerns and relay it.
Okay. The reason is, you have 3 car washes within a mile away. Why would you want to fill another empty spot up when you have 3 car washes? One right on Ford Road, one right on Wayne Road, and the other one's right on Ford Road. So why would you not have another car wash? is going to take the business away from all the small car washes, and they're going to go out of business probably. So that's my comment.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Back to the matter at hand. Anybody on my left? Recognizing the, okay. On the right then, we'll get back to the other pink lady. Ma'am, please be recognized.
I've lived in and around this community, and I know a lot of things this way and that way, but there's no community like the one I'm living in right now. We're all friendly, we're all good to each other, and it's quiet, and it's lovely, and I chased geese up to the pond when they kept pooping all over my driveway, and I won. They stopped coming. So I hate to see things coming in there that's going to create noises and stuff like that, because it's just a beautiful place for seniors to be and be loved, and in our community, everybody is caring about everybody else. It's a very unique community, and I've been in a couple of communities that people don't even talk to each other. So I would like you to make sure that anything that you put back there, have it go out on Wayne Road. Leave us alone.
Thank you very much. Madam in the pink, please.
Hi, my name is Tricia French. I do live on Campus Drive, and I'm in the last building. So we're talking about exactly where I live with what's going on. But I don't really understand, is all of the wooded area going to be taken out?
A large majority of it west of this imaginary line that I'm drawing.
Why? Why do they have to be gone?
Because that's where they're building it.
I understand that, but.
Well, no, I don't understand. The building is going to be off from Wayne Road?
The building is on the screen.
It what?
Is that, the building's on the screen there to your left.
Okay.
You're going to be looking at it, Trish.
Yeah, Campus
The front of the building faces
right out
you,
your front
Trish.
window.
Wonderful.
Trish, you're going to have that pond right there in front of you.
That's great. Great.
Yes, if we can please refrain from commenting from the seats. Thank you.
Okay, so it'll be facing my way. The woods could be gone. I paid more money for that property because of the way it was zoned. And I just cannot believe that this is going to happen.
Ma'am, do you have any more commentary?
I do, but I'm not going to say it.
Fair enough. On my right?
Hi, my name is Leslie Selden. I'm also a resident of the Abbeys, and I just want to echo a bunch of points. Echo that the May 2024 discussion that I was in attendance of, there was a discussion of the entrance being on Marquette, and I would like also to see the video. I would like to echo the lack of notification that this was coming to a vote tonight, and I also want to echo that the availability of the plans, once we got wind of it, we were told they were not available yet, and then all of a sudden yesterday they were available. I would like to echo that there is going to be more traffic through our community. It's posted private property, but people ignore the signs. I want to echo the loss of trees along Campus Drive. I want to echo the concern of the entrance being on Campus Drive, and please echo consideration of moving it to Marquette, on Marquette. I would like to echo, was a traffic impact study done? Because I don't see evidence of that. I just want to mention that a quarter of the residents in the Abbeys is in attendance tonight, so this is a big concern for us. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Anybody additionally on my left?
Jan Jelowicki, my building is right across the street on campus, the last building. One thing that I know this is going to go through, especially I don't want the driveways to be on campus. One other concern that I had was when they start building this and all their trucks and stuff, we've had other builders take in like cement trucks. When they come and dump the cement trucks go into the woods. And if you go down right at the end of the campus court, you can see piles of dirt and mud and that they have put dump the cement trucks dump in. So when they're building, all those trucks shouldn't be doing that or any dumping at all back there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, please.
I'd like to ask all the residents that are here from the Abbeys just to stand up and sit down. They need to stretch. So it's not one or two people that are here. And I echo everything that has been said. My wife and I were the original first residents in the Abbeys. When we moved in, we walked on skids because we had no cement and now this is going to be built. The entrance should be off Wayne Road. And these people that live facing this at night, it's going to look like a drive-in movie, if you've ever been to it, with all them white lights shining on your cars before the movie starts, 24 hours. Well, at night. And unless it is dimmed, it's going to operate 24/7, 365. Now that's traffic. Emergency vehicles. God forbid the fire department. We moved into a real nice complex. Secluded, if you want. And now we're getting built around us that is going to denigrate our area. It's not right. The entrance should be brought in off of Wayne Road, or that building turned around facing Wayne Road. I feel for the people on Campus Drive. And if that's a private drive, and this facility is going to use it, then I want the city to plow our streets and no longer a limited drive or a private drive. We want city support. We want city services in there. We're tired of footing the bills for repairs that could have been the city's. I'm retired chief executive of Thomas F. Taylor Towers in 2009. I've dealt with HUD. I handled that building for 14 years after Tom Taylor retired. It's a beautiful complex. This has nothing to do with us, but I've seen how the city works. if this does get passed and it reaches the city council and they go ahead and start construction as is, which should be changed. I wish I had a black marker and I was 7 feet tall. Where's all the construction cars and trucks going to park? Where are all the workers going to park that come to build this facility? The Marquette House, well, it's not the Marquette House, I don't think is what it's called. Their parking lot is probably going to be jammed. I don't think they're going to be receptive to that one iota. My wife and I have lived in Westland for over 42 years. We've seen it grow from almost nothing to what it is right now. And if you people have common sense, I'm sorry to say that, and thinkability, when this comes up to go to council, until it is resolved first, I request and I demand, as a representative of these people behind me, we're elderly. We're here to do something. Heavens, we've already missed Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy.
Oh, no.
So I would imagine my 3 minutes are up. To say this is not my first rodeo is sadly mistaken. I've been in management all my life. Eastern Airlines for 25 years until it went bankrupt and out the door. I've been a supervisor. I was a manager at Meyer Westland store for 4.5 years, but I couldn't take 80 hours a week. And I got hired at Thomas F. Taylor Towers. And I worked my way from maintenance to director of services. And when Tom Taylor retired, I took over. And I'm very much appreciated to Mr. Taylor for what he's done for this city.
Sir?
Now it is your obligation.
Sir, if I may, we definitely respect your opinion. You don't need to go into a diatribe for why we should.
Okay.
You're a Westland resident, and I thank you for your service. Do you have anything more for us to
No.
consider?
I think that this should be tabled. I thank you for your time.
And we
It
thank you
was
for your
enjoyable to
opinions.
sit and listen to the comments. There's a lot of votes sitting at the Abbeys of Westland, too. Thank you.
Sir?
Yes. Excuse me. Hi, my name's Larry Martin. I've been a long resident of Westland, basically before it was Westland. I've been here since 1954. I was born and raised here, right down the street. When the Abbeys was built, we were mandated, or they were mandated, I wasn't there, I've only been a resident for 4 years. They were mandated to put trees or bushes or whatever it is over there on the one side between the residential homes and the Abbeys. So people couldn't look into their backyards. What I'm hearing here is that there is no provision to separate the Abbeys from this basic nursing home. I didn't spend all my money in my retirement of 34 years at Ford Motor Company to have an area that is not, I can't walk across the street. We see it from the one home that the people that work there and go through. I haven't heard, how many workers are you going to have there? how many people are going to come into there on a daily basis?
Sir, if I can please have you address the board.
Okay,
They
I'm
can
just.
hear you, you don't have to
Okay,
direct your
right,
questions
I
to them.
apologize, sir.
Please be respectful.
Yeah. That's what my questions are. Provisions that we had to do, I feel that they should too. They should provide that. Using our streets, we've all talked about that all the way through that. I'm, along with the rest of my fellow residents, feel that that is very important. The city of Westland gets a lot of money from us in taxes, school taxes, to keep that. Most of us don't have kids in school. That's not a problem. The problem is, will this lower our values too? Because people will quit paying the big bucks to come in and have that, and we do have young kids in the area, can't walk across the street because somebody comes racing down there because they're late for work. These are the things I don't think anybody has thought about. My next door neighbor is in a wheelchair. She runs her wheelchair out and gets her mail every day. Our safety should be involved in this. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody additionally on my right?
Can I just say one more thing really quickly? It
I-
has not been said.
Madam, I must make sure that everybody's had an opportunity
That's
to
fine.
speak before I hear anybody again.
That's fine.
Anybody on my left? Ma'am?
I do echo everything that everyone said, but I'm a newbie there. It's not been a year yet. And I knew of the place because a friend of mine lives there, and she's on Campus Drive. She's out of town today, so she couldn't come. I won't tell you what she said for me to tell you. But being that when my condo came available, I jumped on it. I mean, I was in church. I told my realtor, she was sitting next to me. We went over and looked at it. I probably bit off more than I can chew paying for it, but I love the beautiful trees. I'm an animal lover. I love to see the deer. I'd hate to see them go. It's quiet. I didn't come from a quiet neighborhood. So it really breaks my heart what's being proposed. And everybody said everything else. So thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Anybody additionally on my right? Seeing the gentleman in the back?
It'll take you 3 minutes to walk.
We'll take a drink of water while we're waiting.
Need a scooter.
Hello, my name is Joseph Gauss. I'm a resident of the Abbeys. And you know, I tell you what, when I look at this picture, and I got to turn this way, can I? Okay. When I look at that picture up there, the address on this says Wayne Road. But when I look at that picture, in all reality, the address is on Campus Drive. I live on Campus Drive. Up until today, I didn't realize that all of this was going to be facing my house, okay, my condo out there. This establishment, it says Wayne Road, but like I said, in reality, this ain't Wayne Road, okay? And it's set so that it's right in front of a real nice residential area. And I just ask y'all to really consider that. We say Wayne Road, make it Wayne Road.
Thank you, sir. Anybody additionally on my left? Seeing the gentleman in the back?
I'll be brief. My name is Jerry Allen Asher. I live at 36053 Traditions Drive. My driveway is the first driveway off of campus. I look at the site plan and I see the entrance to this facility is on the south, is that correct?
Correct, there's one over here. Let me turn my pointer
I'm
on.
sorry, I can't hear you.
Give me one moment. Okay. Yes, this is Campus Drive here. There's one.
I'm talking about the entrance to the facility.
That's what he's telling you.
Okay, this
I'm
is
not talking, the door.
the door. Okay, the door.
Is it on the south?
It's on the southeast corner, I believe. Is
Thank
that
you.
correct?
Yes, thank you.
Julie? Yeah, okay.
Where is Traditions Drive on that site map? I cannot tell exactly where it's at. Is that it?
Correct.
Is that going to be where one of the entrances are?
The entrance is down here.
So you're going to come right straight through Traditions right into the facility, correct?
Are we speaking about a pedestrian entrance or a vehicular entrance? Egress, ingress? What are you asking me, sir?
I'm asking if the entrance driveway into the facility is
Got it.
going to come straight through Traditions right into the...
Got it, okay. There is a driveway north of Traditions on the east side of Traditions. No one is going to be entering Traditions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Where are the dumpsters going to be located?
The dumpsters are also in the southeast, is that correct? Or okay. Near the access door over here in the southeast.
Near the entrance?
And in the northeast, I believe, over here as well. Not towards Campus Drive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also want to echo whatever all my neighbors have said, put it on Wayne Road. Thank you. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody additionally on my right? Anybody additionally on my left? I see, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. First the lady in the pink, then the gentleman in the blue.
My name's Carla Tennant. I'm one of the newer residents. I've been there less than a year. I have my 96-year-old mother living with my husband and I. I want to say, first of all, our community is one of the most welcoming communities. I've learned it firsthand. We would welcome you. We welcome people and the elderly that are in our community. But just the layout in which you have it is what we are fighting. If you did it so that it was Marquette or Wayne, we would probably volunteer. They are that welcoming. You would have so much more community support if you would just change the entrances and the driveways and not use our street. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Camillo. I live on Traditions Drive in the Abbeys. I was just wondering, with all that Wayne Road frontage, why can't they have the entrance on Wayne Road instead of using a little two-lane residential road that gets traffic of non-residents taking a shortcut to avoid the light on, to avoid the light by John Glenn High School. We've got cars coming through there all the time, and if you have a driveway on campus, you're going to have more people coming through there. There's no reason you can't have a driveway on Wayne Road. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody additionally on my right? Sir, as I told the lady in front of you, I can't hear anybody again until I've made sure that we've heard everybody initially.
Oh, sorry. I didn't
It's
see
okay.
any hands in front of me.
Anybody on my right? Anybody on my left? Okay, now I have 3 citizens that would like to be re-recognized. Before I recognize you again, please keep your comments very, very short. We have a meeting to conclude. You've already been heard. We have heard you. Please don't reiterate anything that you've previously said. in order. It'll be this nice lady in the orange, then the lady in the black, and then the gentleman in the army hat.
I won't reiterate. The thing that came to my mind, though, when the other people were here earlier, building new townhomes or different things in the community, everybody was for it because it was bettering the community, right? There was questions about the streets, whether they would be, you said they had to be paved. The gentleman said he didn't realize that at the time. We are part of the community. I'm one of the younger ones in the community. And I just want you to realize, because I see some smirking going on, and I know it's late, but we are not trying to be hard. I would like for them to tell us. They know right now whether they're going to change this or not. They do. You know they do. So why are we going to belabor this? Why can't we have a conversation with them? We're not trying to push anybody out. Like Carla said earlier, we would welcome this. The only thing we're wanting to do is keep them off the private street so that there's nothing else going on there. That is the only thing that I said before. So just like you entertain the idea of other townhomes and other places in Westland, remember the communities that you already have that are in good standing, that are good, that are happy, and that welcome. We participate with things in the community and different things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. The only other thing I wanted to say was just regarding the traffic coming through our community. I did a quick thing on my phone, Googled from here, how Google would take me, Google Maps take me from here to Campus Drive, and it comes right through my community. It doesn't take them all the way down to Marquette and down, it takes them through my community. So that's how people are gonna go, they're gonna follow their GPS if the driveways are there and they have a Campus Drive address.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am?
What they're all
Ma'am?
trying to tell you, that
Ma'am?
I've never lived in a community with so many people talk.
Ma'am?
So many people are friendly and get to know each other, and they're just family. I've raised my children, and I've lived in several different communities.
Ma'am?
And I've never lived in a community
Ma'am?
where there were so many people.
I
that you
appreciate
love.
your
I'm
input, ma'am,
leaving.
but
Okay, I just want to
you're
say
being
it,
very
we're a
rude to the
community
gentleman
of love.
who's been waiting. Sir, in the army hat, please.
I'll be very short. I think I negated to tell everybody my name. Don Petrari.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Don. We appreciate it. Are there any additional comments on my right?
Can I just stand up and say something?
Sir?
She's an elderly lady, and you need to be respectful to her. I know she's out of line and stuff, but maybe she didn't realize it. You know, if this was my mother and you were being rude to her, I would definitely get in your case.
I appreciate that, sir.
No, I'm just trying to be honest.
And I did not want to be rude to the nice lady. However, I do have a meeting to run.
I understand.
I have obligations, and I've been very clear about how I've been recognizing people to the podium.
She's an elderly lady.
I have an elderly lady at home, too. Anybody on my left? Anybody on my right? Very good, then. At this time, I am going to close the public hearing and open it up to the commission. If I could please have the petitioner rise to the podium. Thank you very much. I'm assuming that you've heard the commentary.
I did.
There seems to be a very strong opinion that there would be an alternate plan for your site plan that would more appreciably front on Marquette. That obviously should not be belabored by anybody here. It's very clear there that the members of the Abbey are very concerned about that curb cut onto Campus Drive? Is that-
Campus.
Campus Drive. That being said, before I open it up to the rest of the board, I want to make it very clear to the citizens, these are your neighbors. We are not the administration. We are volunteers. We do not get much more notice of these things than you do. So when you look at us and expect us to have more answers than you do, we just simply don't. All we are here to do is to provide a forum where you can air your concerns and the petitioners can hear them. The only decision that we get to make, to be perfectly honest, is whether the petitions before us meet minimum requirements. That being said, I'm going to open it up to the commission. Anybody on my right?
I would like to hear
Sam Durante, please.
I would like to hear his response to some of the questions that was put out there before you asked us.
Very good. Do you have?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I'd like to, my name may have been miscommunicated to the city. My name is actually Eitan Frank, not Elton Frank, so that's one. Wanted, first of all, to thank the commissioners for indulging us this night. Thank you for the administration for all the hard work and the due diligence. Thank you for all the people from the Abbey coming out here. And actually, I like this. I like hearing everybody's concerns. It's not our first rodeo. I'm sorry you guys have to miss your Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and soon Trump, whoever wants to listen to him. We actually like being in residential areas. We've built 11 buildings so far from ground up. Probably the top 5% of skilled nursing facilities in the United States. Private rooms, private showers, amenities that you typically will not find in your mom and pop facility. We love being in a residential area because we're not dealing with commodities, we're not dealing with animals, we don't want to be in an agricultural zone, even though this technically, I guess, is a commercial zone. In other cities, it's considered a residential zone. We take care of people. Maybe someday some of you guys will be in our facilities, and that's what we pride ourselves on, is the quality of care we provide. Our grandparents, we want to be in a residential area where a grandkid could ride his bike to visit his grandparents. We don't want to be, hidden somewhere aside. Those windows that will be facing some of your homes are windows of some of our grandparents, windows of people that are in it, are elderly, are frail and elderly. Some of these people, this will be their residence for the rest of their life. Some of these people will come in for short-term rehab. Somebody falls down, breaks the hip, goes to a hospital for 3-day surgery, comes to us for 3 weeks of rehab and goes back home. It might be one of you guys one of the days, hopefully not, but it could be. I mean, it's just statistics. What we do is, there's many facilities out there. We provide choice to the community of Westland. We love this community. We love the hospitality. I've heard from some of you guys what hospitality the communities of Westland could provide. We love being in communities like this. Many of our facilities are surrounded 4 sides of our residential areas. We're inside homes. We've bought old schools that were shut down, knocked down the school, and built our facilities. We fit in. We build ourselves, as you've seen some of the pictures, we fit ourselves to be in a residential area. We don't want to look like a commercial building, because that's what we are. We don't make a lot of noise. We have our indoor courtyards. You can see we have 2 indoor courtyards. Our happy hour is over at 5. There's no loud music. There's no loud stuff. That's it. It's residential, similar to some of you guys in your homes. 8 o'clock at night, the building is shut down. Yeah, we'll have some nurses around just to take care of the residents, but there's not a lot of activity going on. Most of our staff is during the day. We're fully invested in this. We have a very long bureaucratic process. Our nursing home beds are very scarce. All the states are limiting the licensed beds throughout the states to control their Medicaid budgets. So baby boomers today are, up to about a year ago, there were about 3 million baby boomers entering the system in the United States every year. As of this year, there's already 6 million. And because all the states have been limiting the budgets on their Medicaid, there's not enough nursing home beds. 5 years from now, people will have to be waiting in line to get into nursing homes. So, sorry.
But you didn't answer.
I'm sorry,
any of the
I'm
questions.
sorry, I'm going to answer,
You
I'm going to
didn't
answer.
You're
I'm sorry,
talking
I
about-
just gave a,
You're talking
you're
about
right.
apples, and we want to know about beans.
Okay.
Answer the people's questions.
You got it, you got
Please.
it, you got it. Wayne Road is impossible because there's a gas line there, you can't build anything on that. That's why that whole side of the building, it's a Wayne Road address because that whole parcel that's address, whatever body gave, or city, or whoever gave them the address. Just because it's a Wayne Road address, we cannot build on that because of that gas line, as everybody could see going diagonal. So it cannot be on Wayne Road.
Why can't you build on Marquette?
First of all, let's talk about, so Marquette is the main road.
Yeah.
And our thought was that it's not good for the city patterns to have entrances from Marquette Road. That's one. Number two, Campus Road. We don't own the land yet, but we have options and we have deposits on the land at this point. The title of, if anybody looks at the title of the land, 50%, there's 30 feet of Campus Road. 50% of that road is owned by the parcel where the nursing home is. 50% is owned by the Abbeys. So whenever we become neighbors there, and we are good neighbors in all our communities, we will, obviously, there has to be a road sharing agreement to take care of the expenses of the road. So if we own part of the road, we will own up to our responsibilities. That's one. Number two, we've built many buildings before. We have a top-of-the-line general contractor. They will not be allowed. The general contractor, his responsibility will be to make sure nobody goes into, I would not want any, I want any construction equipment on the road. I want any construction, but that's okay, but it's not, nothing to do with we're not building anything yet. It's nothing to do with.
I'll remind the citizens who are in attendance, please do not comment from the floor.
We do not have any equipment there because we don't even own the land yet. We're waiting for all the approvals. We have various deposits, we have various investments that we made. We do not own the land yet. So we don't have any construction equipment yet because the project has not been approved yet. But when we do it, one, they will probably put some temporary road on the property. That's where people will park, just like the other 13 projects that we've done. All the parking lot of people of the project, working on the project, the contractors, that's before I move in as an operator, will be on the land. It will not be in your residence. If they are in your residence, I encourage you to complain to the city and let them come and get tickets. Let them get come towed. They should not be in your residential area. Any damage done by any of our equipment, of course we will pay for it, because that's what we do. That's what good neighbors do, and that's what people who partially own the road do. It's a given. That's who we are, and that's what we do. I mean, there's not even a question about it. None of our contractors will go and pour concrete in the backyard. That's an EPA violation, and people like that should go to jail. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm for the environment. We don't want anybody to violate any rules. That's what we're about. In terms of the access road itself on campus, 99% of the traffic will be on the southern side, which is right across from the assisted living, which is another commercial building. It's an older building. It will not look anything like what our buildings will look like. Will be all modern, and all the traffic will be there. We are required to have a loop around road just in case of emergencies. So one, the fire trucks to go around, and you have two exits from egress and exit. So the northern part of the driveway, which is closer to people's homes, that will hardly ever be used. Most of the traffic will be coming in and out. We'll have a porte cochere on the southern side. We have all of our enclosures, the dumpsters, generator if there is, they're all going to be enclosed. They're all going to be on the far away from campus, meaning towards the east, and they'll be enclosed so you can't even see them. Lighting will all be as Moaz mentioned, or maybe one of the Commissioner Rappaport mentioned, that there's specific restrictions how it needs to be. It needs to be focused down. That's all planned. Nobody wants lights in their faces. We will have a row of trees between our building and Campus Road, all the way across. It will be there. Most of the trees there today are damaged trees. As is, over time, they will not be there. But at the same time, I believe that this land was for sale for many years. If people wanted to have trees there as part of the community, it could have been bought by the community also. I mean, it's not fair for the guy selling the land to have to hold on to his land forever and not be able to sell it. If anybody wanted it for something else, they could have done it. Well, that's the nature of things. I can't control any of that. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions I should have answered, Commissioner Durant. Is there anything else I forgot?
I'm done.
Before I ask for an additional commentary from the board, from the chair to the administration, can you please clarify, for me at least, the diagonal line that I see through the upper right-hand corner of the lower rectangle to just about the lower right-hand corner of the proposed site plan? That diagonal line, is that the gas line that the petitioner was referring to?
I'm going to draw this line across the site plan here to indicate what you're referring to, so.
That would be what I am
the
referring
audience
to.
knows. Okay. This is a high-pressure Sunoco pipeline that runs through a majority of the city. And this is one of the properties that is majorly burdened by this pipeline, which is why this development is shifted to the west. I'm sure they would have loved to have it fronting Wayne and Marquette towards the intersection, but you simply cannot move that pipeline. I think that answers your question.
Thank you very much.
But why still not Marquette? We haven't answered the question. Just because you don't want to, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying, just because it doesn't, you think that it's going to affect the city.
Ma'am, once again, I will answer your question, but once again, please don't comment from the floor.
We're not
You
getting
did have an
answers.
opportunity to speak, and I am trying to answer that question. The dimensions of the proposed site do not fit within the prescribed area. There's aside from the existence of the pipeline, federal law actually prevents them from digging too close to it. And
So that
if I'm mistaken, please correct me. So the direct answer to your question is why, the direct answer to the question, why can't they front on Marquette? Because federal law would prevent them from
But we
being
drive
able to do
over
so.
Marquette every single day. We drive down that street, is that pipe not on Marquette?
It's below the surface, ma'am.
Okay, so why can't they
Build a
make,
drive if that
fill a
is-
drive, do something? We're not trying to be difficult, but it's just like, I just feel like we sat here all this time tonight, and no disrespect, I'm serious. But if this was gonna be the answer, why were we here all night? This gentleman is here to help us.
We don't have an answer yet, Holly. Just a minute,
I am now reopening the commentary to the board. To my right, Mr. Swokas.
First, I want to say thank you to all the residents for coming out. This is really something I struggle with because there's only so much that we can do as a board. We, as our chairman said, we are a recommending body. And we do give a recommendation to the city council, and they will make the ultimate decision. And if it's even something that the mayor's not happy with, he does have the power of the veto, but then they also have the ability to override the veto. I've been involved in this city my entire life. I was the youngest person ever on the board for the zoning board at age 23. And one of the things I always look at in our city is when something comes before us, how does it change the essential character of our city? Some of you were here, you noticed I talked about something that's in my neighborhood that I grew up in. And I understand and I feel your pain because, you know, housing is not cheap. And it's, you want something that you can enjoy, especially if you move from a home to a condo, you know, that's a big change for people and you want to see those natural things. From my standpoint, I think that, you know, knowing federal law and like I understand it, and that I can tell you, you know, like our chairman just said, you know, you can't dig near those things, and to go near a high-pressured gas line, that's a really dangerous thing, and if it's hit the wrong way, there would be no Abbeys, there would be no John Glenn High School. I would recommend to the petitioner, do whatever you can to sit down again with the residents in fairness and go above and beyond to try to work with them. But I would also say to the citizens, try to work with him as well. Westland is a growing city. We don't have the green belts and the things that we used to have, and some things we may never get back. But the city is growing, the population is aging. I'm a senior citizen. I mean, I'm considered a senior citizen, and I'm 57. My mom is almost 80. Who knows if one of us could have to go to a skilled nursing facility, but I've been in many of them, and I've looked at this facility and where they built before, and I can tell you, they're kind of like the Mercedes of skilled nursing facilities. But I would encourage everybody to sit down, go above and beyond to hear one another, and not, say, I don't want this, I don't like this, and try to work things out as a community, because, Westland, we are a compassionate city. I think our administration is compassionate. I think our residents are, and I believe all of our builders are compassionate. But I think fighting and going on and saying, I don't want this, and I don't like that, and I don't like this, okay, I understand that. But we have got to come to consensus, because legally, we can't tell a property owner what he can and can't do with his property if it's within the bounds of the law and our ordinances. So I would just encourage everyone to work together and try to find a win-win situation. I know our administration and our planning director, he's the best in the business. I can tell you that, and I talked to a lot of planning directors all over the country. He is the best in the business, and he is fair, and he tries to work out win-win situations. Sit down, try to work together, and do that. But for me right now, the way it stands, I don't know when the time comes for a motion, I won't be supporting the plan as it is. I think that there needs to be more conversation, and I think we owe it to not only to our citizens, but we owe it also to the city council. I see Councilman Hornbuckle is here. You have 7 councilmen, and you have a mayor who's very approachable in addition to the administration. Have your conversations, but I want you to know, I hear your pain, I hear your voices, and right now I just cannot support this as it is, but I would encourage the petitioner, go above and beyond. Show them that you truly mean what you say. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Solis. Anybody additionally on my right? Recognizing Brian Hopkins.
I was out there today, and I was on Campus Drive, and I sat in my car and noticed 2 addresses, 1243 and 1261. They are going to be the most affected by this development. I look at this site plan, and I'm not a complete expert at any of this, but it does look like to me that at least one of these entrances can be on Marquette. So I also will not support this site plan as I see it right now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hopkins. Anybody additionally on my left? Recognizing Deborah Fox.
What a night. I am resident of the Abbeys also, and I welcome, proud of all the people that have come here tonight to speak on this issue. I ask you to listen very closely. We're not saying we don't want it, but we would like it with the modifications. I understand about the gas line, but there has got to be a way that this can be turned around some kind of way with the entry facing, not Marquette, oh yeah, Marquette by the high school.
It is facing Marquette, the entrance.
No, it's on.
The front of the building is facing Marquette, right? The driveway isn't, right?
Okay. The Abbeys is a quiet community. And I remember a few years ago when I first moved into the Abbeys, it happened to be the wintertime, I actually fell broke an ankle, broke my leg, and I had to stay in the hospital for surgery, then after that into an assisted living. So I know what it is to be in assisted living. My neighbors rallied around me. I was very happy. Nobody knew me, but they all wanted to help me. That's the kind of neighborhood that is, the Abby's is. I also, and a lot of us, walk our animals, our dogs, around, especially in the wooded areas. If we get rid of all those wooded areas, what's going to happen to the deer, the squirrels, the rabbits? That's part of that's part of the Abbeys, having those animals there. Most of the residents are elderly, as we already talked about that. I'm also an elderly person because I live in the Abbeys where there are the elderly people. So you just got to be more cooperative, if you don't mind, with us, because there's some things we just cannot abide, we cannot do. We also didn't mention John Glenn High School, which is a little bit across the street. During school days, I think John Glenn, the students have to be there at 6:30 or so, something like that, quite early. And if you go out at that time, you see a long line of people trying to get into John Glenn to get their kids to school. Again, also at 2:30 when they're dismissed, the same thing. You cannot get out of the Abbeys at that time. I've tried it, you just cannot, unless someone nice will let you out. So that's a problem with having the Abbeys on that area. So ask you to think about that too. I'm a retired healthcare administrator, so I understand what skilled nursing's all about, assisted living, and I understand that this is an aging community and we're going to need more beds. But I just don't think that this is a good fit for the Abbeys to have another facility there. I don't want this to become a medical center with the Abbeys, with the skilled nursing and the assisted living place across the street. It's just important to have those skilled nurse centers. But if you don't mind, if you can, please look somewhere else, or unless you can help us out.
Could I respond or no?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
All I'm saying is, if you can't help us out, we're willing to do what we can to agree with you. We understand that this could possibly be a done deal, but we're asking you to listen to our concerns, help us get to that place where we're okay with the new facility being there. We just want it turned around some kind of way, and just the traffic, I just cannot imagine the traffic that's going to come through there. And especially at the second entrance, I wasn't quite sure about that. And that one fronts right into Tradition. That would not be good.
There's a parking lot up there.
Point of privilege.
Parking lot. I'm sorry, did I get it wrong?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Nothing connects Folks, please, from the floor, we have to get through this. It's a point of privilege. Nothing connects directly to Tradition. If you take a look at the site plan in front of you, you can see that Tradition is down here, and the secondary driveway, which I believe was mentioned to primarily exist by necessity of statute for fire lane.
So nothing is going to be going through there unless there's an emergency?
Not directly through to Tradition.
All the
That
traffic
certainly
will be,
doesn't take any force or effect away from your point, but I just wanted to make sure that you had,
Yes,
that you had
okay,
proper facts.
that's fine, that's fine. So again, I know we've been talking about this for hours, it seems like, but I just appreciate if you would work with us some kind of way so that we can come to in our minds, we could feel good about this. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Anybody on my right? Recognizing Deanna Stashow.
Hi, good evening. Thank you all for coming out as well. There is nothing that speaks more to any type of issue is to show up and voice your opinion. So I certainly commend you on that. Also, too, as Planning Commission, it says here, proposed site plan and also special land use for approval. Special land use is great. That's what we need. We need this type of housing, and like everyone has expressed, the aging have to have good places to live. And some of my, the concerns about the lighting you've addressed. I don't know about this construction trucking, but that doesn't sound like a good issue. And he hasn't even started construction as far as I know. So that wouldn't be part of your situation there. The trees, well, I'm a big advocate for a nice surroundings. And if you're cutting down a few trees that are definitely dead or diseased, I can see that. And I think anybody wouldn't want that on their property because it spreads, right? So that would be good. Leaving as much as you can would be the ultimate. Because, yes, I've been to the Abbeys. I have my coworker friend here that I visited, and we see the deer and the wildlife and everything, and that's wonderful. My issue is, however, and I have to agree with them that if a Marquette entrance could be developed so that I know that there's the gas line that goes through there, but Marquette is quite a spacious area through there. So see what you could come up with in regards to that. These people have a lot of good points that they're pointing out. And I mean, you're a smart man. You can see that, where they're coming from on that. And I know it's business, and that you need, like I said, we need this type of facility. But there has to be a way to change it. I mean, there has to be something that you can do as an entrance so that they can, this investment that they've made in their homes is serious also. So I would just appreciate it if you could look at your plan and come up with another idea. Because we do want you. We do want you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deanna. Recognizing Jessica Hobbs.
I just had a question about the way the case is worded.
Yes, ma'am.
So right now it's worded that it's a site plan and special land use approval.
Can you speak out? Can't hear.
Okay. Right now it's worded that it's a site plan and special land use approval. And I was wondering if, when we make motions, if there'll be two votes or if it's combined intentionally.
From the floor, you can request for separation of the consideration of the question.
I would like to request that they be separated when we make motions.
Understood. Thank you very much. Anybody on my right? Nothing from Daryl?
Good evening. I've been sitting here just listening to a lot. And one of the questions that, it's kind of ironic that you called on me because I had a question that I was going to ask you, Mr. Flank. I'm sorry. I apologize, Mr. Flank.
My fault. I got it wrong initially.
Mr. Flank.
Got it.
How motivated are you to see the success of this project?
Listen, this is what I do. I'm third generation. My grandparents used to do this. My grandmother used to be a cook in one of the kitchens. I grew up in these buildings.
So are you
that's all we've been doing, we've been.
Okay, I didn't mean to
So the
talk
answer
over
is
you.
very motivated.
Very motivated. So are you motivated enough to take heed to the issues that have been raised? Because there's been several issues that have been raised, and I believe in the power of positive thinking. So at first glance, it might not seem as if there's a solution, but I think if we exert enough energy, we probably can find a solution that's amenable to everybody. That's just a comment. No response needed. One of the other questions that I had that was asked from what happens to the animals? Somebody asked specifically, was the DNR notified? And I kind of looked and like I just didn't get a answer. So like any thought about that, just for the sake of answering the question that was brought to the floor?
DNR, medical DNR you're talking about?
No, Department of Natural
The
Resources.
Department of Natural
He's probably
Resources.
referring to the requirement for an EIS.
Yeah. So, because there was a lot of comments about like the animals in the forest and all of that, you know, what happens to them like once you start construction. So I don't know if that's a question for you or if that's a question through the chair to the administration, but that never got answered for the sake of the community out here.
Again, the whole eastern side isn't going to be developed because of that gas line. So whatever's on the east is you know, that whole area isn't being developed. I mean, my house today, I have many deers running in my backyard. The whole northern part, where people said is a pond, it's not really a pond, it's a retention pond, which is dry all the time. So when people look down there, they'll see grass. And of course, as I said, we're putting all that row of trees along that one side. You know, I'm assuming the deer would stay there, but there's still other areas there. Julie, do you have an answer to that?
We can certainly work with the city on any kind of environmental type issues you have with the wildlife.
There's no need to notify the DNR. However, we can notify the DNR, and if the community wishes that happen, that is something we can certainly do. Chair, I would like less than a minute of your time, if that's possible.
I will accommodate as many people's voices as I possibly can. I do have a couple of people in the audience that are very eager to be recognized yet again. And I do believe that, except for my commentary, Mr. Rounds, you still have the floor.
Okay, I was just going to say I was done.
Oh.
You just, you know, I just want to make sure that everybody, I mean, there's a lot more that I can say, but we've exhausted the
There's an awful lot to say on this matter.
Yeah, but I'll yield back my time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rounds. So I am going to use my time with the floor to try to clean up a couple of citizens' comments. Before I do, I'd just like to point out that my job is not very enviable. I have to make sure that everybody gets heard in a timely fashion. So while you may believe that you understand where I'm coming from, you likely don't fully. So, sir, I have recognized that you've been wanting to speak for quite some time. I did not mean to be rude, and I certainly don't want to not hear you.
Thank you.
So please be brief. You have a question?
I will be brief, but yes. I believe our person made a wrong statement saying that he could not put a road over the pipeline. Is that correct? But I believe you
I'm
can.
going to ask something about that.
Huh?
I'm planning to ask something about that.
He's going to ask about it, Terry.
So the gentleman in front of you with the orange sleeves, sir, with the orange sleeves, did you also wish to make another statement?
I just believe that you can't put a road or a driveway over that pipeline. You cannot build on it, but you can put a road over.
A drive over.
It goes under Marquette.
Thank you.
Sir, please, very briefly.
I lived on Imperial Highway, and if you know where Imperial Highway is, there's 7 houses on it, and the reason is that pipeline runs right down the middle of the street
Okay.
in Westland. and it's crude oil, because I know we had a hole in it back in the 60s. It was spraying 10 feet in the air. But yeah, it's crude oil.
I know what the current laws are, and it's entirely possible that what you're referencing is a legacy allowance, commonly referred to as a grandfather clause, which I don't like to use that term, because it's a terrible term, actually, if you understand where it
runs
comes
right
from.
down the middle of the street.
But the administration asked to have a few moments, please.
Yeah, just real quick, we're likely to be back here again next month, having to notice this, having all of the residents come out here, having this petition back in front of you. And I was just sitting here listening to all of the concerns, some valid concerns, and thinking that I could probably work with the fire department and engineering department that if we found a way or a compromise to close that northern drive. that's
Administration,
just-
if you could please speak up. The
Yeah, sure.
audience is both elderly and probably pretty sleepy at this point.
Sure.
Hungry.
I could probably work with the fire and engineering departments if we were to be able to compromise on closing that northern drive north of Traditions. That would mitigate a lot of the cut-through traffic that was referred to, and potentially leave some area for trucks to turn, and would really only utilize a small portion of Campus Drive here. If the commission is willing to see that proposal, I think we can further work through this right now instead of coming back with an unknown design next month. And finally, just wanted to say from just a general long-term planning perspective that this site is not developable on the eastern side. We already learned that tonight, and I have known that. So there will be no commercial development on this site. You cannot see the development on the western side because it will be hidden away from Wayne and Marquette, that intersection that is attractive for commercial development. So just wanted to say the likelihood of that site being developed for commercial is not so high. And we believe from a master plan, long-term planning perspective that this use is attractive for this site. So just want to see if we can compromise with the residents and the planning commission here and hopefully with the property owner, if we can close and eliminate that drive to the north, if that would be appropriate for everyone.
From the chair to the administration, would you be amenable to having a meeting between yourself, the housing, that lady, right there, behind the lady in the orange?
Me.
Yeah, that one. The board of the Abbeys that have
Sure, yes, of course. But
shared
if
so
we
much
can,
of their concerns with us.
of course, yeah, if we can get a
And,
yes though right now on that, then
Certainly, this development is a positive thing for Westland. I think even the people that don't really approve of the development at all can see the need for additional housing in this area. And I guess I'm going to address as many questions as I can with you before I make general commentary. So this dotted ovular area along Marquette in front of your facility, is that supposed to be a retaining pond?
it's a detention pond, yes.
Okay. And I assume that detention pond could be located elsewhere, that's not an engineering requirement that it be exactly right there?
It's not a requirement that it be there, no.
Okay. Which would mean that there should be some amount of frontage on Marquette to put one of the clear cuts, or the curb cuts. And I do encourage the engineer person, I do encourage the engineer person to look into that, because although the engineering works out obviously better for the curb cuts to be both on Commerce Road, or Campus Road. Clearly, the human element here requires some amount of compromise to hopefully make this work for as many people as possible.
Could I actually step up and address?
Please,
something?
please, to the microphone.
Could I also have a comment on that afterwards?
I'm afraid that time's passed, sir.
No, I just wanted to step up. There's been a lot of questions, and I'm the civil engineer who's been behind the scenes developing the site plan. So we're very willing to work with the city and all the residents, but I thought maybe what would help is to give you some background on it, why we chose what we chose and why we laid it out the way we did. So I'll just address that right now. In the title work for this property, it's Campus Drive was established as a private drive with its purpose being to give access to the parcel on the west side, which is the Abbeys, and then also to give access to the parcel that we're looking at developing. Right. And the idea was to limit the number of driveways that you have on Marquette from a traffic management standpoint within the city. So the idea was not to have a whole series of driveway openings on Marquette. And that's how the title work is set up. We're very willing to work with the city and the residents, but that's how the title work is set up, and that's how we went about establishing the design, because we had in our minds that it would never be allowed to have a driveway on Marquette, because you specifically have title work set up for Campus Drive, and it's in that packet of stuff that we passed out earlier. It's specifically set up that way with Campus Drive. That's the purpose of Campus
Correct.
Drive. It
You're
sets
right.
half on the Abbey's property and half on this property. And then also addressing like the maintenance issues. Absolutely, there's stuff in that title work for the new development, and actually the current owner to be paying for the maintenance on that roadway, absolutely. And it's set up in the title work to do so. So that's
There was a
part of-
project similar to this approved on this site, and that's when all of those easements were granted. And it is true that the city at the time, probably still today, doesn't want to see a ton of driveways on Marquette and would rather. But I'm hoping we can work together on closing that northern drive, and I think that would alleviate a lot of the cut-through traffic that's being discussed. But
Yep.
yes, what you're saying is true.
Yep, absolutely. We're willing to work with the city and the residents on this. But based on the title work, it would not have been wise for us to propose another driveway entrance on Marquette,
Correct.
based on what we had in all the title work. So, because we could have seen the opposite thing come about, is that why do you have a driveway on Marquette when you got title work that's supposed to have it coming on Campus Drive? So that's the logic behind that. And as far as the basins, actually, and just to be clear on those two, those are dry basins. The county does not allow standing water. I shouldn't say they don't allow, they highly discourage it. We've talked to the county on it. They will not hold water. They will only have water during storm events, large storm events, and then they drain out to the stormwater system and then become dry again. And as a long-term, year-round, no, they should not hold water. And the way the site is relatively flat for all intents and purposes. It does not work well to drain the whole site either to the north or to the west, all to one area. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way with how the drainage and the grading works. Or we'd have to build up an area and have like a retaining wall. It doesn't work advantageously to the site to have the basins. Because at one time we had the basin larger on the north side, up at the top, and the whole site didn't drain right. The grades didn't work. So that's why we ended up splitting it to two basins like that. So that's just the background. We can work with people, but that's the background on how it was set up on an engineering standpoint.
Thank you.
Okay.
So there was a mention very early about an agreement between the city and the Abbeys.
Not between the city and the Abbeys. There was an agreement when this entire area was being developed, the Abbeys Phase 1, Phase 2, there was a third phase. There was senior living in this area and maybe even a retail plaza. And this, at the time, the city had asked for this drive to have all of the curb cuts to access those various uses that I mentioned. And you have those legal instruments, easements, and agreements somewhere in your backup that basically state all of that. So we, at the time, preferred that all of those curb cuts, driveways, come off of Campus Drive, which is shared from a legal property standpoint, half by this property and half by the Abbeys. If you look at your backup as in your survey, that 30-foot wide road is split down the middle. And that answers your question.
Yes, it does. The commentator from the citizenry that referenced the agreement, if that agreement does exist and is in writing, I would recommend bringing it to the city council's attention when this matter gets to the city council, which it will get to the city council whether we recommend approval or not. There was also a mention about the tree statute, and I wanted to address that very quickly. I've been aware of because Canton stumbled into the minefield before we did, and our tree statute looks exactly like theirs. I was wondering what the status of our tree statute actually is.
During the council's approval, they will be required to review a tree survey, a tree permit, and a list of all of the trees, their type, whether they're healthy, diseased, damaged, or dying. And essentially, at this time, that's really all there is. We're not allowed to charge people per tree that they're cutting down, and things like that, which I'm sure you're aware of. But
do you have any idea how much that cost Canton to find that answer out in the courts?
Millions of dollars, and a lot of people got fired for it. So, yes, which is why we're not doing it.
Entertainment is only one of my services. So my comment is for basically everybody. This is not going to be an easy fit. I really would like everybody to consider as much flexibility as possible here. So zoning and planning isn't easy. It's not easy for a professional like Mo. It's not easy for the citizenry, because a lot of things that you've come to expect is not necessarily something that you have a right to expect. But you do have a right to be respected. But you also have to understand, and I'll take a case study, because I do a lot of this zoning and planning stuff. I pay more attention to it than the average. In California, a community would consistently show up to town halls and demand additional housing and developments. Demand it. Say that their representatives were not representing their community well because there was housing prices and they needed to get new housing. But every time they tried to put a housing development anywhere, the nearby communities objected and refused to allow it. I really do not want us to fall into that trap. Like, these things might be a difficult sandwich to swallow, but there does have to be a way to do it, because these are things that are needed in our community. So that being said, I believe a motion is in order. Who is going to make that motion? Did somebody already volunteer?
Where do we start? Are we splitting the site plan and the special land use at this time?
That would have to be a request for a motion on the floor. But yes, I will make sure it happens.
Can you explain that to us?
It's a procedure from Robert's Rules of Order. In order for us to split the question has to be posed. So in order for us to deal with the question and turn it into two questions, somebody's got to put the question up there first. And it's not currently on the table.
Well, I think the other thing is that what the administration has said is, can we go further if we eliminate this entrance? And he's
A motion to table is in order, sir.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to table has been made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion,
Me.
before I accept that second, was it your intention, Commissioner Fox,
Yes.
to abstain?
I'm not abstaining.
Very good then. Motion by Swokas and a second by Fox to table this matter, and by the chair will readdress this matter in the next business session. Those opposed, please indicate so nay. Hearing none. Those in support of tabling this motion, please indicate so aye.
Aye.
The chair is not in question. This matter is tabled until a month has passed, and we have had some time to discuss it. Now, folks, please, as we progress through this process, please give it a good faith attempt to try to facilitate as much as you can, and that goes for everybody within the sound of my voice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 6, which is rescheduling the April 1st, 2025 Planning Commission meeting to April 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Hearing a motion by Deanna Stashow, support by Ruby Richards. Without objection? Hearing no objection, the rescheduling is approved to April 8th. Last item is the privilege of the chair that I exercised at the beginning of the meeting.
Yes.
The form of the motion is as follows. Whereas this body has previously adopted bylaws for the governance of its business on or about May 5th, 2021. And in those bylaws, a 3-year period was adopted for the renewal, review, and revision of those bylaws. However, upon the date prescribed in 2024 to take such action, this body failed to act as required. And recognizing that such failure was due to impracticality of a non-annual schedule, for example, such as our annual elections, which we never fail, and not intentionally or by design, it is proposed. Article 8, Section 6.1, Sub 3 shall be amended from, quote, Planning Commission bylaws shall be reviewed every 3 years from the date of adoption of May 5th, 2024, to, quote, Planning Commission bylaws shall be reviewed annually. Proposed amendments may be submitted to the secretary, by any reasonable means at any time and shall be considered upon the December meeting or the first meeting held thereafter, whichever shall occur first. Voting on amendments to bylaws shall coincide with annual election of officers or otherwise as the rules prescribe. This motion takes the form of a motion to amend something previously adopted. Citation is Robert's Rules of Order, Section 35. It takes precedence over nothing, which is why we're considering it last. Must be seconded, is debatable and amendable, requires a 2/3 affirmative vote, and the chair declares is otherwise in order. Voting will not commence until next meeting, where there will be an opportunity to deliberate. If there is a motion,
Mr. Chairman,
recognizing the motion by Sam.
Point of order,
Thank you
Mr.
very much
Chairman.
for recognizing my motion. Is there a second for the motion?
Mr.
Second for
Chairman,
the
point
motion
of
is Ruby
order.
Richards.
Mr. Chairman, I've asked 3 times. Point of order. If you're making the
Point of order, you
motion,
are now recognized.
if you're making a motion, I would suggest you pass the gavel to Vice Chair Richards, and you make the motion because you read it into the record. That would be the ethical and proper thing to do. I think that's why we have a vice chair. She can preside over it, and that way there's nothing missed, and it's clear.
I don't disagree with you, but that procedure was not prescribed either in the Robert's Rules of Order or our bylaws.
Well, we have that privilege, and for that reason, then I will be voting no. And I would encourage my colleagues to vote no. That's why we have a vice chair. She is more than capable of running this question. Sam, too bad.
I understand. If that is how you feel, David, then for the purpose of adding this to the agenda for next meeting, I will pass the gavel over to the vice chair, which she actually has a gavel, all of her very own. The motion that I have put onto the record, thank you very much, Sam. I suppose I do not require your motion. No, I just read it into the, having read it into the minutes, is that sufficient, Mr. Sokas? All you require to do is to have the second and open discussion, and then you'll need to announce that on the record.
Okay, so Sam has second, and now we're open for discussion. Any discussion?
As the maker of the motion, I have privilege to have first discussion. My concern with this is because of the way that our bylaws are currently written, there was a specific date that was set for us to review our bylaws. My concern is that with the current wording, and us having already passed that date, our bylaws could be read that our bylaws can never again come up for review. In Robert's Rules of Order, it does prescribe this specific method of then adjusting our bylaws. And because this is not a significant change, it's merely a wording change to one section, it does not have to be reviewed during the overarching process, which would require us to form a committee and take a very close look at proposed bylaws. So hopefully the rest of the board will agree with me that this is not only a wise decision, but a necessary one. And thank you very much for pointing out the ethical dilemma, David. I cede the floor.
Further discussion?
If there is any further discussion, Mr. Rounds. I'm sorry, I can't recognize you. Ruby has to.
I'm sorry. Recognizing Commissioner Rounds.
I just want to simply say, can you guys hear me?
Nope, I got everybody's mic turned off that way.
I just want to simply say thank you, Commissioner Rappaport, for bringing this motion to the floor. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I love to hear myself talk.
Thank you, sir.
We know that.
Any more discussion? Any more discussion?
Seeing none?
The matter should be tabled until next meeting as well.
The matter will be tabled until the next meeting.
All those in favor?
I didn't hear you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All not in favor?
So the motion will be tabled till next meeting.
Motion will be tabled to next meeting. Thank you.
May I please have the meeting back?
You got your own.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for taking care of that for me, Ruby. The next item on the agenda is commissioners' comments, which I propose we skip for this time.
That's fine.
Second.
Without objection?
No objection.
No objection.
Hearing none. The last item on the agenda is adjournment.
I make a motion.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Rounds, so supported by Mr. Durante. All those in favor, please indicate so. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The chair is not in question. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.